Welcome everyone to another Fireside Cast. My name is Jared. I'm here with Space Ghost to bring you guys RR versus China National TF2 team. This is RGL Invite Highlander Season 22 lower bracket semifinals, and both these teams so far have succeeded enough to find themselves in the playoff race, but after both of them not succeeding in the first round to get into the upper bracket, find themselves in a do or die moment in the lowers. One team will move on and continue their stride to get better than third, and while the other will go home at fourth, and it'll all shake out tonight on Upward, Vigil, and Lakeside.
It will indeed, and we got a banger out here for tonight. I don't think it's like too unexpected with these teams, considering I believe it's the third and the fourth seed. So it's like technically, if you play the season, this is what you would expect: is the two bottom teams that make it into playoffs are in fact in lower bracket. But we'll have to see if there's an upset here if the fourth seeded team or not. I think RR's the fourth seeded team. If my research correct.
I believe so. Yes. In fact, this is actually we're immediately going into a territory where you're doing rematches, because Upward was only played like a week ago, plus some change between these two teams right before playoffs kicked off. So, and it was a pretty close game. It was a 2-1 victory in favor of RR. So we'll get to see, if there's any changes here after, a little bit of time has passed, or if that was even enough time at all for anything to change.
I do feel like Upward as a map is an interesting selection because it's definitely, if both teams are somewhat confident, I think it can be a little like coin flippy depending on how last goes. Like if both teams are equally skilled, you can kind of just like get funnied on last and just end up losing the match through playing overall better. Like it's definitely one of the maps that I think has more upset potential than like the average Highlander.
I would agree. It can be pretty difficult to snowball off of like small successes, and you still find yourself just kind of stopped, and it makes the times really close sometimes even if there's a big gap between you and the enemy team. I think that's a statement to a team's confidence, though, especially if you just played this map and you won but you lost a round, and it was a little sketchy, but you still feel confident enough to be like, yeah, no, like this will be our one pick, like this is the map that we're gonna win on. So I'm curious to see how that kind of translate into the actual gameplay change.
Yeah,
it probably is about to go over the roster soon, though.
Yeah, Vigil is also like the second map, and I feel like Upward and Vigil have a fair amount enough in common. Like they're pretty different maps, but like they're both payload maps. I feel like usually you see like two costs or like King of the Hill and a payload. Seeing two payloads, I feel like it's a little unorthodox. I've seen it before, but not the most common map selection.
I think it's probably because these two teams are close enough in general to where you probably don't feel that confident playing Koth, because you definitely see a universe, despite your confidence, where you can get upset, lost, and just lose that map. Whereas the payload maps, even though it will still be close, I imagine both the teams are confident in their strategies on a more like less a DM and more like on paper, how are we going to play this type of deal, that allows them to be like, oh yeah, no, this is the map for us. We don't, they have a harder time viewing a situation in which they lose it, which is why I was emphasizing like that concept alongside just playing it and almost losing is definitely something. But it's probably important to go with the rosters, especially since I think there's probably a sub here or there for both these teams that will play into effect here. I can copy and paste it into the mumble for you.
Thank you. Much appreciated. Oh, actually, I just found it. I'm very smart.
Oh, well, there you go. But I'll go ahead and go over the roster for RR. It is Maxi on Scout, Jerry on Soldier, Chem on Pyro, Soapy is filling in his demo, Jack on Heavy, Spaghetti on Medic, Catwif on Engineer, Puko on Sniper, and Chlor on Spy.
For China National TF2 team, we have MK on Scout, Fish on Soldier, Minty on Pyro, Zebra on Demo, Dastron on Heavy, and Hardhat Jones on Engineer, Rogue on Medic, Scourge on Sniper, and Boss on Spy. And I say the Soapy demo is intriguing because Soapy's a very good player with a lot of very high DM, but Soapy not traditionally like a Highlander demo. That's kind of its own beast.
Yeah, he's familiar enough with Highlander because he's played Highlander Soldier, so like
I believe he's not complete. Won a season or two, didn't he?
Yeah, so he's not a stranger to it, but there's a separate skill involved when it comes to guiding the entirety of a Highlander team, and like the decisions that you make on such a crucial role can be like, oh, the way that we decided to use this Uber kind of like killed momentum for us, et cetera, et cetera. So it's a lot of responsibility to put on a player that is very good but doesn't necessarily have tons and tons of Highlander experience. And in most times, you know, enough playtime, it's not really a problem we worry about, but is something that can't really be ignored when you're talking about not only the top level teams, but also just filling in, you know, last second. I don't know how much he's able to practice with them per se in terms of, I didn't look too far back in the scrims. Even then, it can't compare to, you know, a whole season going over an entire roster of maps over multiple weekends. So
it also requires that mental fortitude of like peeking the sniper as the first one and then immediately dying, and it's like, all right, back to square one.
Yeah, there is subs on the opposing team as well. Rogue is subbing in, and having a substitute medic can bring a whole different dynamic to a team, making sure that you're in sync with your demo man on what your demo wants to do. I mean, if you're not on the same page, I mean, obviously you're going to try to communicate, but that could be a very situation where demo man accidentally get dropped or heals or get put into the wrong spot. If you're wanting to go for a particular play on payload, it is going to have to be said so much ahead of time, because heat of the moment things that you guys prepared for over the weekends might be difficult. Right. So that's definitely something you can't ignore as well, and we'll see how the synergy of the of China national TF2 team kind of differs, if at all, from the substitute.
Yeah. Especially because on medic, I feel like a lot of people don't notice those like small medic things that like kind of just build up or like keep the wheels turning, you know? So like they might not even realize that something's off or like that they have to change something until after like some sort of disaster happens.
Right. And then by then it might be too late.
Yeah. But at least both teams have ringers, so both can just blame the ringer. Classic strategy.
That's true. Both teams have a scapegoat.
Yes,
that's good for your mental.
It is always very important for the mental. Although if you lose, you're done for the season. So, however much that's worth, bring it into next season, I suppose. Because in various forms, they've been around for quite some time. China National TF2 team, I recognize a lot of the players. I'm not quite as sure as the various synergy here. Like we got Fish, who's well established. What's some new guys too? Like Scourge, I believe, pretty new to invite. Hard Hat Jones.
It's just difficult when you compare, a group of people that actually have a lot of synergy with each other through multiple seasons on various teams versus a team that's come together, and maybe there's bits and pieces here, but really it's just the main season, that you have to work off of. But who knows? I mean, depending on the talent and the drive to win, sometimes that might be enough. It's not like we're doing a comparison when I talk about how Upward was just played and I'm like, oh, that was week 1 or whatever, This was only, like I said, a week ago, where it was a very close game. Speaking of that game, we can talk a little bit more into specifics, because we are probably going to segue into talking about what we expect coming out of this map. The important footnotes for anyone who didn't really watch the map too keenly, Upward in particular, was this was one mostly, not entirely, obviously, it's a team effort, but mostly due to pit class diff. Buko and Chlor definitely did a whole lot more than you would expect out of their like a normal duty of like a sniper and a spy, which kind of makes sense considering it's Upward. They kind of went off. Buko went crazy, won the SVS. There were I think there was a final round where he did like 3,000 more damage than anyone else on his team, just like sniping heads over and over again.
Yeah, and not just sitting on last two, both sides, which is way harder.
Chlor went even in the match. It is like unprecedented, really, to have many matches on Spy where you don't have moments where you went in and didn't get a kill. Oh, I'll try again. 30 kills, 30 deaths. Very, very efficient for the most part. So mostly eyes on them to see if they can provide a repeat performance, but also maybe that sparks a little bit eyes on the opposing team as well to try to kind of stop them in their tracks. It's easier said than done to just kill a sniper, right? Because that's obviously the main goal on a lot of maps like these that are big and wide open. But maybe some more effort to try to find a way to kill Chlor could be beneficial to them. I did notice that out of all the kills that Chlor was getting, it was 1 sniper, 2 engineer, and 3 pyro of all classes, which is probably not a thing that should be happening. So
Not
maybe
ideal
there's
unless
some
it's a lot of revolver.
right. So maybe there's some work to be done in the way that the China national TF2 team kind of orients themselves in preparation for the spy. But well, regardless of whatever change they make, it seems like RR says it doesn't matter. We'll win again.
Yeah, and I do think that the spy, like KD, honestly, it kind of depends on what parts of the map you get stuck in more so than others. Like, if you get stuck on third for a long time, it's very hard to do kind of anything with spy. I think sometimes last, it's a notoriously kind of terrible spy point where there's not much to do 80% of the time. Like
Yeah,
30,
that is
30
true.
can't even get in and cross half the time. It can be pretty brutal. So I think it all depends, like, especially looking at upward stats, they can be a little misleading sometimes just because, like, if you're just sitting on last farming a bunch of kills, your stats will look way, way better than, like, your impact on the rest of it.
Right. I think the fact that it's pick classes in general that are leading the charge in that regard, though, kind of shows that even though that you can only take stats into consideration so much, that does kind of tell a story. It's one thing if a demo man gets 500 DPM, who knows how he got it, if he farmed for free or if he just, like, you know, actually worked for it. But when pick classes lead in the charge with the kills, that's just a domino effect waiting to happen. But we have gone live between both these teams, and we'll see how the pace is set. I think in the first game they played, we were looking at times ranging between 6 and 9 minutes. So we'll see if any of the defense has hardened up to make anything go treacherously past 9, or maybe we see a giant steamroll, which honestly doesn't really happen that often. On Upward, I think most teams would be pretty happy with 6. To get under that would be kind of crazy, but it's not impossible. So we'll see what these teams have in store for us.
I see a heavy with the shotgun out. That's some old school tech. You'll love to see that.
The red heavy or blue heavy?
Blue heavy in spawn. They're all looking
at
it.
Oh, okay. I mean, if he's gonna sack, you know, just run around with the shotgun
yeah, that
and
extra
then...
mobility.
Yeah, that's fine.
Although he's not on, like, the funny heavy shotgun that old he has. I never quite got that one.
Oh, the family business.
Yeah, I feel like that one should have, like, a little, like, I don't know, like a little snacky on the side.
Right, well, they're single file down this hallway in the blue team. They are ready to go. The question is how long will they wait before they pull the trigger? We see a
taking an aggressive angle.
Yeah, it's a relatively normal setup, though, from Red.
It is a relatively normal, so we've had the heavy with the fists already just running down main, very hurt as it is, but to see a bomb over, Heavy's gonna die immediately, Fish gonna die immediately, so far... Okay, that was just the Krissy. No kill so far for blue, no force or anything like that, so... Just sitting pretty. They got 4, so that is a pick, but overall the spy pick doesn't really matter that much if the telly is still up, and they did not get the telly, they did not get any forces, so sacked 1, you know, up and away and gone.
Yeah, there was a little bit of disconnect, I think, with some of the floor people as well as the people that were bombing in, and it kind of made it like a domino effect where they just went, you know, one by one for the most part. But they're trying for round 2. It's not going to be a sack. They're looking to potentially go for an exchange. They immediately use the pyro, which is not that great for potentially making sure that you can end your post.
They did get the gun at least.
It's something to work with. They might eventually
have to do
something.
This is a little sketchy for Red, though. If they're going to sit around, they might have to use this just to get out if Blue can actually pressure this away. Like, yes, Buko already dropped down to the low ground. Spy is already way behind, and then, yeah, they're starting to lose players. Red might have to Uber just to get out here. Yeah, it's a pyro cell on the running forwards.
It's a large amount of greed. To not go for the Uber exchange, even if you can hold S, means that, you know, you have to hard diff them. Because, let's be real, with a Sentry Gun plus 9 people on a team, even if your medic and your demo don't feel threatened enough to use, something else will be a target and will die. And you kind of saw how the Sentry Gun prevented them from having the defense required to not get forced there. So I think that decision kind of bit them as they find themselves back on 2. Not only
and they
on
lost
2,
but they do have a banner.
And
only the banner. Jeremy is going to stream forward here. They're actually taking this very aggressively. I like the decision. Rogue is caught up. He's going to have to drop back down. As they haven't lost anyone. Oh, there goes Scourge. So bleeding in the air. Going to fall. And that's a successful cliff retake, which was, I like, that was a very heads-up banner from Jeremy.
That honestly completely saved them, because if they didn't have that banner there, then they would have been able to actually use their ad to just completely lock them down. And the fact they retook the cliff and got a bunch of kills for it meant that the ad wasn't really usable down 4 people. So now it's just a straight up exchange. There's no spy or soldier for the post. The timing's a little bit awkward, but they're just going for it. Did you get this Uber change out there?
I think he's going for the... Yeah, Boss is going to try to get the sentry. He's going to get caught. Doesn't get the sentry out. They'll take the Uber backwards. But in the meantime, Rogue is at 6%, so this Uber exchange popped off, and they're sitting on the low ground. They might get the sniper might get baited a little bit more careful. Jack X2 gonna fall. And they're taking this very slowly and slowly. These post fights are very much going the way of
yeah, Spaghetti got piped a bit, so it makes it hard for your medic to sit on the open and actually heal these people that are wanting to be aggressive to lock them down. So I think the clutch pipe is what really helps seal the deal here, and they're not so sketchy anymore.
Flora's dead, so Scourge is able to take this wide angle. Fish gonna bomb through and buy some space, and this is gonna already look like a successful second defense. They're kind of like standing around seeing if they can get any exit frags, but realistically,
Rogue.
Oh, they're actually going in. Okay, this is really ballsy to go in like this. And Spaghetti's gonna be careful. They're all walking backwards. They're all so hurt. There's any fall there. That could have been a lot of this. We're gonna die again, so it's a little bit of dead time while we wait. But
yeah, I think they kind of recognize
for blue already gone quite well.
Yeah, I think they've kind of recognized how poor that first hold went, and then they gotta play, you know, it's as risky as they can with sitting up there. But they find themselves on third after only a little bit of time. 3 minutes is pretty good for now, but anything like third or last can definitely stop you in your tracks, no pun intended. Is even over for both these teams, not wanting to use it quite yet. Blue team definitely putting their heels where it needs to be. Yeah, definitely making it really difficult for them to actually counter spam. There's no one up on the catwalk. They're getting pushed out of the U-turn bucket area. They're going for the exchange. The Pyro's not quite here for the air blast. Trying to get into this and maybe push them in the pit. The gun will not die or get sapped. They just actually found the blue spy trying to walk in, so they won't find too much to sit there. Maybe baited Sham to die. He's fine for now, but
gotta get in. But on the scout, okay, they didn't actually get the part up the blue tracks, and now they have a pyro and a scout on it, and nobody's really in position to fight this.
They're so passive.
They're straight forward, but you know, Scourge, look at Scourge, he's so far forward, and they're actually just gonna let this go all the way up. You have to fight this before it gets up, or else it's gonna be a disaster. Look at them, they're just stacking up.
Yeah, they definitely needed to cut their losses way earlier after they lost so many people in the exchange. Either surge forward and go for it while they're still clumped up and maybe passive, or just say screw it and back off. And luckily for them, they are able to retreat without too many losses, so they will find themselves up all over the balcony of their last setup with a small advantage to work with. But blue team, they've done a pretty good job so far. I think red has kind of mismanaged how they need to defend properly, and the greed has been punished properly by the blue team, so finding themselves a moment to stand down the gun, that will be an overall success. They're trying to just itch their way into tiles. Got to be mindful of the SBS with a stab from core. Takes Rogue out of the equation. 98%. Gonna have to go all over again with a whole another minute to actually build an Uber of your own. And it's just sack time. They're going in one by one, trying to take down the gun for another time, but they will not find
Scourge is still in tiles. You might be able to get a pick here if they don't pressure this. He's actually...
I think he's getting out, though.
I think it's considering you have big Uber to set, I'm okay with the sniper dying there, just because like if you get a big pick, you can kind of maybe do something. Whereas dying, like it's one of those things. It's like a late death if there's like no active push coming down, whatever. So might see a little bit of dead time here. And as for going to last, I was gonna say I was like, okay, this is the great equalizer here. You can have a lot of stinkers going into last, and if you have a great last hold, that can make it everything. Everyone forget the first 2 points.
Oh, the red soldier going for the flank.
Rogue again. Oh my god, Jerry!
Jerry's going huge right now. 4 dead before the push even begins. They were trying to play careful because they knew that they had disads, so they can't exactly full commit, but the banner gave the red team the confidence to go forward, bully them out, and give access to the side door through the main cart path. And that was just the ultimate flank that reset the entirety of the blue team once again.
That was brutal, and so far that's the second push where Jerry in tiles has been kind of unstoppable, like a vintage ETE performance of just waddling around, just being unable to die. It really does put so much work into the soldier to just waddle around tiles and kill all of your players.
Yeah, blue team trying to find their footing once again. Gotta make sure they don't have a repeat of the previous 2 times. First it was a spy, second time was the soldier. They get the gun down, which is step A. It allows them to peek a little more aggressive. There is still a red sniper on the field. It is going to be a thorn in their side. They have
Look at Jerry. Jerry's just spamming like this little like crack angle. Okay, Scourge is going to take Cupojo. That's a huge pick. There's another blue sniper can't just sit in tiles unless some other class actually tries to fight him. Scourge has to take this as fast as he can so he can get any picks before their sniper respawns.
Yep, they have an opening here. They're trying to poke and prod. There's no gun built up. Trying to push the cart at least a little bit. MK is sacrificing some health to make sure it pushes forward. There is the level 2 setup in main, ready to move forward if this push actually kicks off, and they're kind of rotating around. It looks like they might go for it soon. Demo bomb in, blue Uber going forward, trying to find the opposing demo man. Not really finding too much though. Maybe a soldier. Not much to really talk about here.
Piika takes down Scourge.
Yeah, they're holding on to the Uber. Air blast. Sophie's just dead.
Oh no.
That was not the best Uber, but Rogue did die in the
getting the
post.
picks.
Yeah,
Man, look at Jack
second
X gonna
try.
drop down, and it's a spray down in main, as that's gonna be Engineer and Sentry hidden. Sophia falling to Vivian doesn't even matter that much. I think that's a bit of a missed opportunity for Blue. I don't know if Scourge was just getting pressured or what, but like, Sniper's dead, you gotta swing wide and trade your life for some picks, and it just didn't happen. That Uber exchange also not going to win. Those, I understand those upward Uber exchanges they can be kind of tough. I get it, but at a certain point,
needed way more cap time, I think, in the middle of the Uber to actually get the cap time, because that's the only people are going to show up. You gotta not chase after people, but just like spam upward at people that are trying to shoot your cart pushers, and then they're a-okay. Worst case, they can get a flash, which shouldn't be too necessary. But your demo dying immediately kind of kills this drive push. I mean, they were trying to go for something before the Uber would come into play, but Spaghetti already has it, so the red team's sitting pretty right now with Buko still alive. They need to find a way to keep the cart moving. NK's running back and forth to make sure the cart doesn't go too far back, but Chlor barely escaping. 3 HP, spies bumping into each other, actually gets the blue spy killed. But yeah, SBS once again won for Buko. Gives red team a whole lot more room to sit about and not be afraid of the sniper threat that could be lingering inside tiles. But after all this time, Blue Uber once again getting pushed back. This Demo Man bobbing strategy is not working out. They're getting absolutely nothing here. The red team being extremely greedy, not even feeling they need to use because of the performance of the Blue Uber means that they just sit here and are a-okay, and that's another SBS1 in Buko's favor, which helps lock things down a whole lot
Boss
more.
is in. Boss! Oh, he gets the force at least. That's a big force. They're gonna try to get Rogue out safely. And this double green gun is actually doing a lot of work, just making sure that this Uber can't chase down the medics. So +1 to having to level 3 in main. And that means they're gonna have Uberad here. And we'll see if that maybe with Uberad they try a different strategy, because I agree they've done like the bomb the demo in twice and it has gone absolutely nothing twice.
They gotta just walk through main, I think, realistically.
Shoot up
in the balcony. And then they have to appear to shoot the cart, and then you shoot those players wherever they come from.
Yeah.
But, last time we saw succession, like a serious, huge success, was when they kind of punished the greed on first from the red team, and maybe we'll see that once again. Uber comes out.
Sylvie actually might be caught in. Sylvie has to surf in, and he ends up dying, so they're going to get at least a demo with this Uber. But they're going to get a Pyro snap, and Buko just on a 9K, pairing it up. Yeah, it's the pick classes. They Uber in, they can get a pick, but they can't get into the spawn. If you can't get into the spawn, you are not having Uber.
Yeah, and they only put the Pyro on the cart, really, who ended up getting stabbed. So, I mean, I think they're trying to desperately try to chase these kills, which they did succeed a little bit better for the side of China National TF2 team. They actually got kills this time, but it's really not mattering.
He's getting a little spicy with it in, but managed to walk his way out of there. They're getting a little aggressive. They really don't like this sentry, I think, because Pat Jones is building a sentry up, trying to get it back into main. It's also another good strategy, but here he might run into Jerry real quick. Jerry's like in prime position, and they don't see each other.
They're just eating all the same damage. He definitely farmed so much of his banner off that one. He is running conch, so he doesn't need that much, and apparently he has it, so he is good to go whenever he needs it.
No, I hear it. He's
they're trying to stab him. They're trying to get him. He's gone. Goodbye, banner. That's actually huge.
That's a genuinely good.
Pyro's dead as well. Can't air blast the spam off the sentry gun. It's really just the sniper protecting it. It's so low.
Buko's running back into swapping position, so this gun turret should go down if they like focus her.
They gotta put a lot of effort into it.
Scourge at some point. Scourge does have to win this SPS again. I feel like they're gonna
they're not pushing the cart. They're not pushing the cart.
They're finally just getting on it now, but it might be too late because they're just dying in spawn. They're gonna pop this Uber, and I don't think it's. They're good. Sophie almost fell in the pit again. Is Buko on a 13? At some point they have to bomb for Buko specifically. You can't let the other sniper just got double-digit kill streaks like that.
I think this is a really good example of the red team recognizing where the greed is working. The first couple times where they had moments where they tried to play really risky, sometimes it kind of bit them in the end, but them actually holding their Uber this time, recognizing that they're actually doing nothing to warrant you like immediately just popping in return, is working out in dividends, because there basically is no post for the blue team. By the time the red Uber ends, you have more than half of the blue team dead, and I really think it still stems from trying to get kills where there's usually it's way too difficult to find any. So we're gonna have to see a giant mid-game overhaul of their strategy for pushing last if we're gonna see them push this. But they're immediately losing the pick classes. Fish gets air blast killed as well. They're trying to drive 3 people down.
It's another banner.
Yep, another banner
it's a
for
different
the red
banner
team.
too.
They swapped to a different one. They're all dead.
And Scourge's gonna probably die again. Yeah, he's gonna die again. He's dead, so that's another complete wipe. You have a heavy Jack X is on a 10k. Jerry's on a 7k. Buko on a 14 kill streak. It's looking rough out there. And I'm not gonna blame like Boss too much because he's on spine up with there's not much to do. I think that like Fish and Scourge, they gotta like make a play at some point. Like Scourge made a play and then they could do nothing off it. And MK is just gonna fall off of Buko.
Yeah. It's whittling down the time here as they once again do not have, and Spaghetti does. Is your pyro gonna be difficult to reflect some of the spam? They get the engineer out of the equation though. That's huge. But it's only step one. That's step two. That's step two. If you don't win off of
this, you're never winning last lap. Sorry. Scourge is going on a 3K. Scourge is gonna win this point for them. This is
mind the Uber though. Mind the Uber. Sophie's dropped off.
Sophie dropped down. They dropped down, but he's not quite there yet. Like, actually, I think they baited this pretty well so far. Sophie's running into main, trying to see if they can get any picks. They've dropped too, but at the end of the world is lost. Getting stabbed the boss. Rogue is. They can still try to fight this. This is tough. Yeah. Max is gonna end up getting a bunch of Plinko kills.
The problem that it wasn't really a problem, but by the time the post happened of the Uber, the sniper was already on the field once again. And then, not to mention, they lost a couple of people in tiles during the post of the Uber, or the red Uber, so it wasn't really I mean, it didn't look too bad, but it definitely was not enough. Now they're just full sending it. There's 20 seconds left. They're bombing in. Vision making space. They're getting on top of the cart. It brings people forward. They're spamming upward. They're getting some damage. Not really getting too many kills, though. And this is honestly the strategy. Probably, if you were a China national TF2 team fan, you probably hoped for in the first place. Maybe with some Ubers involved or something like that. But it comes too little too late. The desperation does not work out. And with only one or two people that are even around the cart to prevent this overtime from ticking down, Red team will successfully defend last and prevent the opposing team from tapping all the way through.
Yeah, that was a pretty dominant last hold, and it's funny because I feel like first through third was actually pretty that was pretty good for Blue. Like it all it was going swimmingly until last, and at last they forgot how to play the map. And I know it's tough, but it feels like everything they tried, and they tried 2-3 different things, just none of it was even close. The only thing that really got anywhere was Scourge getting a free K, and that's it can't be your only strategy. I know that's how you kind of are supposed to push upper last, but you gotta have something better than just oh, my sniper's gonna pop up.
Yeah, I think the success in the first couple points, that maybe not second, because second was just in my opinion, it was a pipe that hit on the medic, and then that kind of killed the hold, because the medic can't heal people properly, and it's GG. But for the first and third hold, it definitely was proper punishment of how the defending team tried to hold, and it just wasn't enough for what was brought to the table. The greediness on first and the passiveness on third just made it so simple for the first couple points to be capped. But then last, there was not really a whole lot of defending mistakes for the blue team to capitalize on. It was just mostly on China national TF2 team to kind of create something of their own volition rather than capitalizing on an ending mistake. Nothing really just came to fruition. But we see a flip of the script here as the blue team, they don't even need to cap last. They just need to capture 3 points and
that is
quicker.
The one nice thing, at least, is that because they capped first through third so fast, is that it's not as big of a threat as normal that you didn't cap.
Right. And you're right, there is a Brass Beast on red.
Yeah, I'd love to see the vintage Brass Beast strat. Jack X2 gonna run in.
Oh, they're bombing.
We hit it.
Hey,
I don't think they got demo and a sniper. That's pretty good, but the telly's still up, so I don't think it's gonna matter that.
Yeah, I mean, they can get a little bit of ground. They will know there won't be any traps per se, but I don't think it's gonna affect too much. Actually, the telly is getting sapped now. They're on it, repairing it. But yeah, this bluebird's probably gonna come soon. Got the cleaver on the engineer too, make it hard to stay on the gun. But they're going over the pill bottle. They're disconnected though. They're disconnected.
No, Scourge gets stabbed. That's a huge thing. They're gonna lose their pyro and sniper. This is probably gonna be a backup. I would hazard.
Yeah. You can't post this. Oh, and Floor's on rogue, distracting. Wasn't able to find the frag, but did distract them enough to make sure that there's no one that can actually heal properly.
He's caught in here with the Brass Beast. Is he gonna get a spray down? Oh,
he got 2 kills.
He almost got a third. That was almost impressive.
It bought time. It made sure that when Chlor went in on the rogue that there was no one available to help turn that into a 2v1 meta kill. So the red team holds onto their Uber even though they've lost 2 players here. And Blue, they're immediately trying to push the cliff. Their sniper is here. Gotta be careful. Scourge is on top of the rock, trying to prevent them from walking forward. Sham will die, so Blue Pyro down. Scourge headshot. They're walking forward. Uber's on the equation. This is just straight up dry as red players are starting to fall. The Fighting Slow getting the sap onto the gun, so it's not in the equation, and this was just a straight up dry fight that has found themselves in blue team's favor. There's no one in the tunnel. They're all sort of by their spawn except for MK, who will barely try to escape. Mind the Sticky's Delman here. Oop, straight in onto the Delman. Some flashes here and there. Jack getting air blasted back, but they still don't really have that much ground, and they lost their spy as well. So nothing to really turn heads means that the red team is not really going to be able to do much here. They might try to poke and prod, but
bomb
no.
coming in?
Oh, okay. The bomb from Soapy.
Yeah, Soapy, he got a good sticky off, but
no dice.
No fall, sadly. So that's a pretty good hold through the second and group 2. Like, they got good amount of space. And Scourge gonna dive really early. That's gonna give blue team a lot of space here to work with. There's not really that much to stop them other than a silly heavy fighting in the water.
Yeah, and there's only so much that can really do to slow things down.
Although they haven't cleared, they haven't been in the house at all. Okay, he did end up backspawning.
At least red team can get a reset here because of the cart, but the fact that Scourge is still not alive means, you know,
and it's hard to take space for free. They don't have anything to worry about there.
Yeah,
other than that's why.
They can poke a little bit up the slope if they want to. They're just trying to keep heals on the cart, and they can't really spam the cart properly because they're, you know, Buku's just going to take the first shot at the first person he sees until Scourge is here, which he's here now. It is relatively even. Spy dying is pretty huge for Cham to make sure that he can kind of air blast as much as his heart desires. He doesn't need to turn around for spies or anything like that, but looks like blue team wants to take it soon up the slope.
Yeah, it looks like they do, and they're slowly getting the card up. They're kind of getting their players here. They're doing this pretty well, but Soapy's gonna get kind of caught away from the Uber, and he's actually gonna end up going.
Jerry's behind.
If Jerry's behind, they're gonna trade up kills here, but they got that card up the first step, which is like a positive step, but meanwhile, they've lost a lot of really important classes. Blue's just screaming forward here. They don't really like the guys to fight this.
And Floor's trying to go for a stab. The Uber saw on
they're gonna get this in
spy.
time. This is gonna be it. 20 seconds left.
Yeah, this is, I mean, they had to go for it, but that was a full-on diff across the board.
Yeah, and you mentioned it, pick last diff, and Buko Floor, top of the scoreboard. Granted, it was a lot on last, but that's ended up making the difference. It wasn't stat padding. That actually won them the game. And Scourge and Boss, scoreboard. Although, again, not blaming Boss too much, because Spy on upper last, they're not.
I mean, realistically, I think you could see a huge difference in how the offenses went for the most part, where the way that China national TF2 team did well was capitalizing on mistakes the defense made, while RR, they just won like every single dry and Uber exchange.
Yeah.
For
they did, but again, like it was only like a 20-second difference, which isn't that big of a difference at the end of the day for their first 3 points. It's just that they didn't get a chance to like defend last, you know?
That too, but I think it shows a fundamental difference in terms of like if you can't win off of your own strategy and you have to wait for the other team to screw up, it kind of shows the story of why last was so hard and why the other points were a bit easier. And you can see an even more like diff on the RR side of things, how they didn't need to wait. They didn't need to wait for the defense to make a mistake. They created their own opportunities.
Yeah, the stats that's Buko 30-5, 550 DPM. Floor 24-16, so a positive KD spy by a significant margin. 14 backstab, so not Back X2 21-4, Maxi 20-7. Everyone, every single player, other than even the medic, every single player on RR went positive, or at least.
I mean, that definitely makes sense with the last, like you said, but I think just watching the game in general definitely showed a good reason on why they wanted to go for the rematch.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. They cracked the code, certainly, at least on last. Although I think their first 3-point defense, I think RR definitely could use a little improvement. Like their post fights were very bad. That's why China national TF2 team. That's not why they got through first through third so fast. It was really just off of post fights. But last, kind of tough to post fight on last.
Yeah, I think that's especially why when you address last, you need to make sure that the other team, the defending team, has to actually use their Uber. I think part of the reason why we didn't see red team punished in their defense on last the same way they were previously is because the execution of the blue team, for the most part. When they did their execution on first, you saw they killed nothing but the gun, but it was enough for them to kind of spiral and still get the force and then have an ad to use later. But on last, it wasn't really able to come to fruition because they weren't able to provide a reason or get any kills or whatsoever because everyone just kind of hid away for the most part.
Yeah. Although RR does have actually their opportunity to get stuck on last by pushing it this time. So
True.
that is nice thing is there's 2 halves, so we at least get to see how China National TF2 do, how they want to hold last, and if their last can be even close to as dominant as ours. Estrad's in the funny. He's in the funny spot.
Any specific changes that you have in mind that you want to see particular players do differently from either of these 2 teams to try to either have more of a dominant, even more so, win for RR, or finding a way for a China National TF2 team to kind of come back?
I think there's a missed opportunity on last with Scourge, because I've had this complaint with a couple other players too. It's that they very early on before they kind of struggle. He won the SVS, which is already a huge thing, and it's even if you die, you have to just take an aggressive angle and try to shoot the demo, shoot the NG. You can't just play the angle slow after you get that pick. That's when you have to go. You have to get picks after you kill a sniper, because that's your only chance you're gonna be able to just swing wide. And I think that was a bit of a missed opportunity. Didn't really get another opportunity until Scourge got another couple big picks on last. So I think the rest of the team needs to figure out what they're actually doing, but it's kind of a tall order match. So in the meantime, Scourge needs to put the team on his back here and get a couple Buko kills, which is a little unfair considering Buko probably is gonna have to do that. But that sometimes that's just the way the dice roll.
I kind of feel like MK needs to stay out of the Ubers on last, because a scout Uber into upward last when they're all up top and you're just a scout on the floor, it doesn't do anything. And you're much better at pushing in the cart and then getting away from the spam when people appear. I also think that if this change does happen where China National TF2 team kind of fixes their pushing ability, I think that Soapy actually needs to prepare to not be so greedy with the Uber exchanges, because it's been hot and cold on whether or not they get punished for deciding that we don't want to use. You saw it went terrible on first, but it went great on last. And I think playing in a way where it's we don't need a use for this is just testing your opponents on how good are you guys actually. Yeah. Can you take advantage that I don't want to use the Uber here? And so far, sometimes yes, sometimes no. But as soon as China National TF2 team kind of fixes their offense, I think he's quickly going to find it being a case where every time it's going to end up being bad. So I think that should be something on the mind as a change that could very well need to happen in the middle of the match.
I think Sophie was definitely going on a little giggle adventures a couple of times with the posts, which it was fine because it was working, but against the first or second seed, that would get punished a lot harder, I think. There's a couple silly Sophie posts where he kind of wandered off into main or fell in the pit, and it was I know Sophie's having a chuckle about it. But probably
with a dominant performance, you mean
it was exactly
people to kind of roam around.
I've done the same thing in playoff matches. If you can get away with it, it's a great morale booster. But probably not super optimal gameplay. But Soapy's also the ringer, so he gets a pass.
Yeah, I'm a big proponent of the concept of an high-level Highlander milking is bad a lot of the time. Not every time, but a lot of the time milking is bad, because if you feel if you're initiating, you can milk, right? But if they've decided to use their Uber into you, even if you feel I'm not in being threatened, my medic's not being threatened, let's hold on to this for 5-6 seconds. Someone else will get shot. There's 9 of you plus, let's assume the spy is invisible. There's 8 of you plus a sentry gun. Someone's getting shot. Someone's dying. Someone's not going to fight in the post. So you might as well take the opportunity to go forward, because you can't use better positioning properly in terms of let's chase with our Uber. Our Uber's better. Let's chase when 1, both teams have scout speed. 2, pyro on the enemy team alive. 3, you chase and then end in a sniper sight line. No, thank you.
Yeah, so I also think it relates to the Jacob Swiftwater theory, where it's you want to use the second day use, because there's also the timeline where they don't.
The medic doesn't die and they build.
Yeah, the medic doesn't die and now they have ad. Yeah,
that's what happened on first.
Yeah, that is what happened on the first, and it's very much a thing where it's milking is in some scenarios, but on payload, I generally don't recommend it unless you really know what you're doing. You can like it's a lot of kills. It's generally not worth it because you just want to both teams to be shiny at the same time, and then with the defense, your positioning is just automatically better. At least they should be if you're playing Uber, right?
Oh, there.
Are they changing the map? Yeah, I was gonna say, are they changing the map to upward again?
Perhaps. There's okay, yeah, and there's changing the map to upward again.
Our demo's stuck.
Demo's stuck.
Which is that Sophie? Please tell me that's Sophie.
Stuck how? Like stuck as in oh, the picture's in Mumble, okay. Oh, I didn't a demo man stuck on the health pack on upward first?
I've never seen that. That's incredible.
Oh, it was in setup too.
Yeah, he got stuck in setup. Okay. He really got stuck in like the wooden booth. Yeah, that's actually really impressive.
I've never when you hear that my Doman got stuck on upward, you think of like, oh, you mean like the thing where they're inside the tunnel and then they hit their head or whatever and clip through. But this is literally like above the health pack on
I've
first.
seen that like happen once. That's a really rare bug.
And like, I guess because this was set up with 4 seconds remaining, they just said screw it, let's like.
Yeah, I'm glad both teams opted for fairness, but that's also like that's really impressive.
They could have just re-execed and kill bound.
Yeah.
But whatever.
That is genuinely so impressive. I've never seen that. Like stuck by the health pack. I gotta. Huh.
I've never seen that either. Maybe.
Yeah. I've seen that in tunnel. That happened. That's like a known thing that can happen in tunnel. I've never seen that in that particular part of the map, and I've played like we have a combined so much upward time, the two of us.
And the weird thing is I think initially you think like, oh, it's probably because it's like one of those like refreshed versions of upward that like makes little changes here and there, right? But like, why would you? There's most certainly no reason for that part of the map to get changed in any of the refreshed versions of upward. So it's definitely just like, I don't know. He's a pioneer for upward glitches, I suppose.
That's like, you know, ban all the upward refreshers are dumb because they fixed all the stupid funny angles I used on last. I'm gonna blame the upward refresh even though it's not the upward refresh. Like that's actually
Zebra just does it different, I suppose.
Yeah, that's sometimes you are just built different.
Well, that's gonna buy some time for, I guess, both these teams to talk about what they want to change. Hopefully not too long, though. If you literally just readied up, hopefully maybe one person at most went to the bathroom. But I think we see both teams ready.
2 readies. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, okay. No, we're going live. We still got the 60-second setup time, though.
Yeah, someone's missing, but it's a pyro. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, it's probably just one of those, like, go ahead and ready up. I'll be there in a sec. What is a pyro gonna do, you know?
Yeah, in a setup time, they're a sacrifice for the metal gods.
It's actually not even a pyro. It's a soldier.
I thought it was, like, scout. No, scout because runs back to medic for crits.
They're, like, all on the wrong classes. Fix your classes, guys. There's 2 soldiers.
That's good, though, yeah. The 2 soldiers, like, if you could run 2 soldiers, that'd be pretty good.
Alright, we do have the crit set up, which will definitely slow things
wherever
down.
I see... okay, we just kind of scattered them loosey-goosey. Yeah.
That's not bad.
I think you should always put one under the cart. I don't know if you've seen that video. It's in one of my videos where, like, there was a crit sticking into the cart, and the pyro air blasted it under the cart. So then they couldn't, like, shoot it, so someone had to die to it because the cart ran over the crit stick.
Yeah, it's not a bad location. Honestly, just put the stickies as deep as possible so you can not feel like you need to hold on to them.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's worth it just for, like a silly, like...
I really hope this heavy isn't... Okay, good. He fell off. He was, like, up climbing right where his demo got stuck, but immediately Scourge dead.
Yeah, was he taking an
even sack? I think so, yeah. I think he was,
I actually don't think you sack here. I think you put your sniper on the hill by the health pack, or, okay, just let Piika kill everything.
Yep, that's 1 down. They're on the move still. This gun is actually much more aggressive than a lot of more passive guns.
Okay, Buko is gonna die, so that's a really pick by boss there to just buy some space. But look at Sophie. Sophie's like going on like an actual adventure. Oh my god, he's bleeding too.
Yeah, I mean,
Pyro
he's
is
trying to
gonna
go for the sack.
Pyro gets stabbed, and this is gonna end up turning into just kind of a delayed sack. But any good time, Boss gonna get another pick. Boss gonna die to Buko in the end. But yeah, that was a little sketchy at first.
What
Oh,
was that stab? Hello?
Oh.
Not only the gumption to be like, yeah, let me just walk
That's
in
a
here.
crazy stab.
That is the craziest stab that I've seen this year. From my angle, I don't know how it looked in first-person POV
No,
or
that
from
is,
Rose's POV,
I've
but
seen
just
that
bird's eye, that was
before,
crazy.
But that is such like a coin flip 50-50 play because the Rennick has to be looking backwards for that.
Jeez. All right, well that's first
Rogue
in a
took the
nutshell.
telly too. They're still in, so they're gonna
they want to get
try to get the force.
They don't
Force
want
gonna
to
get the
soul.
Yeah, they're gonna get the point, but they get people out, and they're gonna lose a lot. So
not bad,
it's not
honestly.
the end of the world. They're gonna buy a little bit of time.
I think Fish wanted to jump up and messed up.
Yeah.
I think they felt like they had to play as greedy as possible to
Just
actually
to buy
find
time,
a way.
so that way they can refight once they want Uber so they can contest on the lower ground here because they're not getting killed.
Yeah,
That's
they
not
failed
happening
getting the
until
force
they
though, which is like, I mean, they got killed, but that only bought so much time compared to the Uber disab that they didn't have. So now they're in the really passive hold, which can be a little bit sketch. The ones on top of each other. There's no one in the tunnels, no one to turn heads. The spy is kind of around, ready to do something. MK is kind of behind the house to flank if needed, but they've taken this left angle to try to help
fight it now.
Scourge.
They're fighting it wide, but they have to go fast. Boss has to default down. He's not going to get there in time.
No, it's
dude,
capped.
They Ubered. They were just a second too late.
Spaghetti used it,
changing, but Zebra's going to be by Zebra.
Zebra, goodbye.
Because Zebra didn't get air shot. That's a you take this.
At least for the red team, like you still go for those because there's so much cart time that needs to be
It worked. It was
done.
just like a half second too fast.
Right. Well, even the
late,
fact that it's slow, the cart still has to move tons and tons. They did get the exchange out of the way, so it's okay if your gentleman dies. Pyro not great. Yeah, he's just up there.
He was like the farthest one forward by far. But in the meantime, they're gonna try to take this hill. They're getting a lot of time. Fish and Jerry are gonna take a fight. Jerry's gonna get the better end of it. So Fish is actually gonna die to it. MK's gonna die as well. So that's 3 players
They're getting
down.
hard diff.
Yeah, they're getting hard diff right now. That's just a flank diff. And off of the flank diff, they're gonna push up. Jack X is already in the side house. Buko's on the cart. Jerry's gonna bomb it so he can get anything. Rogue! He's gonna die to Jerry!
I was about to say, at least Jerry isn't behind this time like last time, so you have to beg the question, like, who goes back to deal with him, etc., but apparently he doesn't need to be behind. Just as a high bond immediately completely ruins any chance the red team had of really holding this.
Meantime, but still, this is 95%
I mean,
here.
yeah, the respawn disadvantage too.
They're still trying to,
okay, that's huge though. They found the scout.
Yeah, that's
big.
actually, yeah. I think they're just using this to buy time for last because they have to decide again. Scourge is actually... Okay, Scourge getting some nice kill farming at least. You take that as... The Pyro Sniper gonna push up the cart, and they do have a bit of time here, but they still have 80% disab. So already looking not too hot for kind of national TF2 team here.
They can build a little bit of it. I mean, RR's gotta wait for the cart before they're really productive, you know? Like, if they take an Uber right now, there's nothing stopping the red team from just hiding because they can't really,
I think
affect
at least
the
send some players to try to force that, because there's so much time in between there and last. I think you said like a handful of players to just try to get a force. Like, your Sniper got a bunch of picks. Sitting on last is fine, but like that only works if they can't push with that. I
agree. I don't think they need to be as afraid.
No.
But at least, you know, they still find themselves at 80%. So here we go. This is what you want to see out of an offense. The cart's push, and they can't actually block them.
Yeah. Okay, so they're gonna get
Uber comes out.
They have to shoot the cart. Okay, they're gonna get off the cart. Meanwhile, Sophie's just in. Sophie's trying to fight a Pyro 1v1. Sophie's gonna win the Pyro 1v1.
Rogue, the poster positioning is not there. He's so far forward. I don't think he's got the memo.
They're gonna block the cart though, and the gun hit. They still have a level 1, so and Scourge is still on a 6 kill streak, so he's at least doing something. This is gonna be a cart push, and Fish, meanwhile, Fish is running around getting all these kills and others. So that is a successful hold for now, but this is gonna be another like slight disad.
It was a successful hold. But if you think about it, the cart got all the way to the end in one go from the beginning of the track. But Blue is on crits. Recognize that Spaghetti respawns
I think that's a Sophie
first. I mean, if you hit the first shot, is he on quickies? Check his primary or his secondary. He's not on quickies. Okay. But all it takes is one good sticky, probably onto the sniper first, and then that's it.
Oh,
and I mean,
that's bleeding. Oh.
They're all on top of each other, really. They get the gun before the crits is actually huge. They need to keep building this, though. It's not...
Look at what they're doing with Buko here. They're actually, like, taking so much space. Yeah, they're on crits right now, 80%. I think, okay, MK just kind of runs in and dies, but they might have been able to call it.
Oh,
Scourge on
that's
an AK
huge.
so.
They have the Criss now, no helmet.
Oh my
Gotta
god,
be
yeah.
like a solar
Wait,
Criss or something.
Crits?
No. I think at this
They're all
point,
hiding. They're actually all hiding. Floor's gonna get Scourge in the spawn door though, and there's no dispenser. Floor's gonna get the pyro as well.
at this point, you just use the crits with demo now and then get kills.
Jerry's bombing up, and yeah, I think.
Oh, Rogue dead!
Oh my god!
They didn't know it was Criss after all this time. They even got on the spaghetti a little bit too, but I guess they weren't able to spot it. With only 2 people left alive, Scourge, the sole survivor, will end up dying in the crits play. Even though it looked a bit precarious, and with Sophie's death there, it still works out with a surprise play.
I think Core saved that a bit because Core got the sniper and pyro before the push, and those are the only 2 classes who can stop that crits. Like,
Yeah,
the sniper
and the
can
fact
headshot
that-
the medic, and the pyro can reflect and sticky. Both those classes were dead.
They also didn't feel comfortable holding in the balcony anymore because of the sniper disadvantage, which is why they felt like they needed to rotate through the spawn onto the floor to do their Uber, which them doing that prevented them from getting any eyes on where Sophie was and what they were doing, and maybe even seeing the crit sticky flying through the air at the last second or anything like that. Rogue was barely through the shutter when he dropped.
That's what China National TF2 team needs to do when they had sniper advantage, which they had twice when they were pushing the previous round. They need to actually like take the space off of it, and I felt like they just kind of hit. Like,
Yeah,
I know there's
well,
some diffs happening, but that's a core example of what you do when your sniper is like, you know, making space on upper class.
Well, they showed that the first couple points that they pushed when they were on offense previously, it wasn't too bad. I mean, it wasn't. It's not uncritiquable, but it's most definitely serviceable for the current matchup. It was mostly just the last. It was
Their best strat is they hope they can get a snowball from third to last, which I have seen happen.
Probably, yeah. If they do third well enough before the last can't even get set up, then that could be their ticket to victory, because they don't have to really create anything of their own on last if they did it on third. He just immediately got. I mean, he took
that was
SPS
like so
immediately and
fast.
died.
Okay, he's in this. Oh, Buka's taking the aggressive angle. That's back.
Yeah. But they're waiting a bit for the cart to get full before they go ahead and go for any sort of sack.
Yeah,
here.
Boss is going back to spawn, but they have an engineer in spawn waiting, so we'll see how this goes. But
Patience is a virtue. Oh, they don't want to sack. They're just going in. The engineer is not quite at spawn. Pyro air blasting a
the
bit.
engineer's not there. They actually can maybe expand this down.
Oh, this is okay. They do finally Uber on the right team. They're a bit greedy with it. They're going forward. You're not really finding too much here, to be
Boss got
honest.
the telly.
Just a little bit of damage. The telly kill is actually huge, but Rogue dying shot from Cupojo. That is gonna be.
Scourge got Buka though.
I mean, they just have to full send it.
Yeah, they have to play off Scourge, get these kills. Oh my god, Floor! Oh, Floor just got a 2K!
That's definitely going to help the defense. They did lose a bit, though, especially with the telly going down. That's going to be hard for them to hold this second attempt. Actually, the telly's back up now. They are...
Yeah, the Rescue Ranger.
Yeah, they are relatively okay here for their hold. They do have the ad worst case if the dry push goes on long enough, but the dry might be all the blue team needs, really. We'll see how this begins to go, as the engineer is still at last, going back and forth to prevent things from, you know, getting sacked or anything like that. As Buko taking a lot of damage, can't properly snipe them that well. He has to get tanked up the field non-stop, but immediately 2 picks on the blue team makes things much more difficult to actually spam down this gun. We might even see D4 decloak right now, maybe go with a pyro frag. We will not find it, but they are finding a lot of blue. Yeah, and they could use it right now if they find the blue medic. Rogue close enough. Don't feel it's necessary quite yet. Getting the pyro, that makes it much more viable if they want to go for that route, but just holding, and they will go for it now.
This is okay,
as well, running in, trying to find Rogue. He's a bit passive though. Unable to really find him. They got a couple kills, got the scout, got the heavy out of the equation, but they do not find the medic, which means that was basically a quote-unquote successful force from blue team.
Yeah.
So now he's a real opportunity for them, and they need it. If they, based on the time, if they fail this push and don't take first, I think we are reaching dead time.
Yeah. It's gonna be close if they don't
and that's
get
not
it.
a good start.
Not a good start, but you still have this full ad to work with. See if they can get any hits. They need hit scan here. Yeah, they need hit scan. And they're gonna get their pyro. They have some space here. And Boss is gonna get the soldier up high. That is actually pretty big, but Buko gonna take that rogue, gonna take down that heavy. Buko, they're not getting the kills.
They are really failing to find. I mean, worst case is a gun that just completely stands still, right? But realistically, I think they are getting denied way too hard, losing too many people before the Uber starts. They lost 2 before the Uber ad went on. They brought the scout into the Uber to chase, which is fine, but no one was on the cart in turn. And I just feel like they're They're trying to get these targets that realistically can't get killed, I suppose. Their target selection is...
I also think that their
like
Uber was a little fast, so the pyro got to like reflect like half.
Right. So I mean, it's just
Florida's gonna die, so that's
again.
at least one player down. Okay, Boss is gonna get Jerry again, so Jerry keeps getting stabbed by, and Scourge is gonna take down Puko, so they have an opportunity here to at least get first, get some out points, but
they got the force.
It's still not looking too good. Yeah, they did get the force. I think Red's gonna be greedy, and I think they know they've won, so they literally all they do is just buy them.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, they're just going back just to make sure. Actually, no, they look like they were... Someone called to run away, and then someone said, no, fight this. And they're going to go ahead and try to. I mean, they have a demo man dead. That's pretty huge. See the spy in front. Don't turn around.
They got the force. That's huge. That's a huge force. And they're going to walk away.
Engineer dead, though. I mean, in the long term of things, losing that engineer there would have been pretty bad for your second hole if you're on Cliff. But considering the time, I mean, this is no longer doable by the blue team. This is officially dead time. So, I mean, it's basically a DM server at this point.
Yeah, Rogue died too anyway, so if that wasn't the nail, if it wasn't done before, that's the nail in the coffin. So at this point, we're playing for stats and trying to see if some sort of miracle happens, but I don't think it's going to happen.
I feel like that first ad push we saw shows that what was happening in last wasn't necessarily a last only issue, but there's a pattern that I feel like these demo scout Ubers are not on the same page, and they are making poor assessments on what can actually be killed.
And I definitely feel like the pit classes, like I think Boss is getting there. He's getting stabs like during Uber when things are happening. It feels like I think Scourge a bit isn't like playing behind the Uber or for the post. It feels like they're not having posts now because their Ubers are so bad.
Yeah, and because of all this, Red just needs to have a field day. As much as I critiqued the concept of like, oh, you need to be careful, like, if you're milking, you're gonna have to pop anyway, or they're gonna have ad later, you're not gonna be able to chase. But even though we see little tidbits of that coming to fruition, and blue team gets these ads, it doesn't matter. Red team doesn't get punishment for their greed. Even though it looks like there's potential for it, they end up A-okay, and that's what find themselves in this position.
Yeah, I think overall that was a pretty dominant showing from R, but I believe it was their map, so next map is going to be Vigil. I'm a little nervous because Vigil does have some similarities with Upward, but maybe we'll see. Maybe they're cooking.
I think two things. I think the reason probably why China National Team ticked it. They played Vigil Week. They played, I think, like the number 1 or 2 seed team and did pretty okay. So they're probably not too uncomfortable on that map. But generally, Vigil allows two things different than yes. There's two things starkly different than Upward. I think the first thing is the death balling. If you think about like you successfully pushing a point on Upward and how you can't snowball it as hard because you have to wait for the cart, that is much less of a thing on Vigil because you can still find a way to get close to the next point. Yeah, you can find a way easily to get to the next point and prevent a setup, even though the cart still has a little bit of ways away to go. And that's definitely good to make sure you don't have to be good at every single push. You get tested pushing upward last, and sometimes you fall flat and aren't able to execute properly. But it really, really doesn't matter, like we said earlier, how though the path to victory was perhaps winning on third hard enough so that you don't have to push upward last properly. That is much more common on Vigil for every single point. If you're bad at any of the points, you just hope you win the previous one hard enough, and then that gives you a little bit of leeway. The second thing is I don't think sniper dominance is as necessary for you to find a path to victory. I think your sniper on Vigil can get absolutely trash canned and you still win, which that is not something you can say about Upward.
I think so too. I think on Vigil, especially like on offense, I think a defensive sniper isn't as important as Upward defensive sniper. I think offensive sniper, you can definitely make some money moves on last and like on fourth. It requires your flank to play the game more so than I think like a lot of the other points. Like a lot of Vigil, you can need like if you want the offensive sniper to do anything, you have to like AB him forward with like.
And even then, it's probably not worth the resources. I feel like a sniper
on fourth, I think you kind of like have to if you want the sniper to play the game.
Yes, probably fourth, right? But I think honestly, for the rest of the maps or the rest of the parts of the map, I feel like as long as your sniper's alive in general,
Yeah,
it gives you what you need. Where the team is like, the sniper's around there, even though he isn't actively peeking, and it makes you uncomfortable with like
you basically
playing
just
in a
like
certain
kind of
way.
like pressure their sniper out. Try to get some picks. On last, I think one of the best ways to push last is just like you make an Uber exchange and your sniper just posts up in main or red room and has a field day. But that's kind of true for any Halo last. It's not really a Vigil last specific thing.
Yeah, I just think it's less.
You know, you are correct.
For
It is
the
like
posts.
like it's pretty rare to see like a sniper going to like a spin bot 15k on Vigil last. I got upper last or any of the Vigil points really. Other than second, sometimes you can see some real nice kill streaks.
If there's anything that's gonna pop off, like pattern wise, it's not looking at pick classes. I actually think it's looking at explosive class. It's the explosive classes. Yeah. I think the explosive classes are what win you Vigil. In general.
I agree.
Because one's anchored heavily on the combo, one's heavily anchored on the flank. As long as both those two classes excel, then their counterparts that are surrounding them just get to have a field day. And if any of them get shut down, then it's kind of like, okay, what do you think you're actually going to accomplish here?
Yeah, and I think this map does have some very nice bombing angles for Soldier on both sides. On second, you have both soldiers can bomb. On third, offensive Soldier has some really nice bombs. Like, there's a lot of like good like explosive class things you can do on both sides to impact the game, which I definitely think that more like upward comparatively. Like, yeah, like Soldier can you can have a fun time on last waddling around, but other than that, there's like only a handful of really things you can do. I do agree with so much of a combo and like that Soldier map.
I'm kind of with that in mind. I'm expecting a little bit closer of a game. I don't necessarily know for sure if like this will be the pick for victory for the side of China national TF2 team, but even though Jerry is going to be a powerhouse to try to fight through compared to Fish, who's capable and smart but is technically off-classing, and sometimes it's a mechanic battle, soldier v soldier, and one just comes out on top. I feel like that Zebra can out-discipline and outsmart Soapy in terms of positioning.
Yes.
And if he does that and Soapy makes one little mistake on defense, he will end up dying, and then it can snowball.
Yeah, that is a good point. I think inexperience of Soapy on Highlander, like I think he acquitted himself very well on Upward, but Upward's also like it's baby's first pub map.
He had the room too as well. He had so much room.
Yeah.
Because of the sniper dominance.
Upward was like one of those easiest maps, I think, on demo to just kind of slot in and run around and play the game. Vigil, you kind of have to like know some Vigil specific. Vigil requires more fortitude. Yeah, maybe that's not true. I don't know, but still, Vigil's like Upward. I think is much more of a comfort map for like a normal like non-demo map player.
I think it's played much more, not just like the being familiar with like the sniper silence on the terrain and stuff, but even if you only play Highlander on and off, chances are you probably played way more Upward than you did Vigil, just standard.
Yeah, I definitely agree there. But on the other side of things, I'm looking at the stats from last map. Kind of gross. I don't want to get into them too much.
I can imagine.
There's some nasty stuff in there. Buka 49 and 12. If you ever see anything above like a 2.5 KD on sniper, it's a sad time. Or 38 and 29. So positive on spy again. Yeah, every single player on RR went positive, and Spaghetti went 2 and 2.
And were there even that many sacks in the last round?
Not
particularly. To like farm all those kills. Like I guess it was.
The last round,
it wasn't even sack waves. It was attempts at pushing first, really, that just failed. It wasn't like, guys, let's sack. I think they did that one time, maybe, where you're like deliberately trying to die. The rest of the times was like an actual genuine attempt at trying to fight, and then you just lost that badly.
Yeah.
And crumbled. So I don't even think that stat difference is necessarily inflated for the second half, like the first half was.
The damage is pretty disparate too. Like Zebra's up there. Zebra actually did more damage at DPM than Soapy, but I think Zebra also just had a lot more players to shoot in general.
I mean, that's generally how it goes. Defense demo men are known for doing more damage, but realistically, it's your ability to or have an opportunity to need to do stuff, and if Soapy's team just winning, he doesn't need to.
You don't have to do as much.
He doesn't need to get 500 DPM.
There's literally less guys to shoot. Like, I've had that issue on Sniper before. Like, sometimes, KD's just winning so hard, I just don't have that many guys to shoot because everyone's already dead.
Yep. DPM to one player is most certainly subtracted from another, so...
Yeah. There's only so much damage to go around unless shenanigans are happening. Or crit stickies again. I think it's interesting. I think we've seen RR... RR is actually going to take offense first compared to last time. I think psychologically they can go into it a bit. Like, if you get stuck in your first, like, point of the map, like, which do you prefer, would you say? Do you prefer pushing first or defending?
I prefer to push first because I like to get into the zone with the map in terms of, like, being familiar with, like, seeing all the different types of pushes and defenses in practice, as well as familiarizing myself with sniper sight lines.
Yeah.
And if I make a mistake on offense, it's not that bad. We'll just try again.
That's true. Yeah.
But if we make a mistake on defense, it's like, oh, I forgot the sniper can see me from there, and then we've lost.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. All right. The game is going to start. We're not seeing anything too crazy right now. I'm seeing any sacks, but they are slowly creeping up on the flank. Actually, a lot of players.
I like that Red is actually doing a forward hold. I think with every team you come across on Vigil, you always ask, like, are they going to forward hold, and how do they do it? And I think that playing like this is better than playing really far back and just giving it away.
It is, but it can get risky. If they already lost the scout, the telly's already down.
They kind of have to play risky, though. Like, after what we saw, like, I feel like this is what they need to win. They've gotten some picks. It's gone okay so far. Just mind the exchange.
Yeah. Yeah, they are going to be walking down main. At least they're walking up so far. Somebody's kind of trying to get some spam off, but we'll start to see also how they want to approach this. Like, Soapy's just all on his own here.
Yeah, he's both been in prod, and they're not pulling the trigger quite yet. I think they want to do the exchange now. Got to get up the log. Yeah. Losing their sniper right before the exchange kind of hurts for the post. Maybe they can find a kill elsewhere. They have a little bit of control over the house, which is pretty good for the blue team. It's not the best because they don't necessarily have heals to keep them there.
Which might mean a couple players are caught out.
Oh, the
he's gonna go down.
That's huge. And the pistol on the rogue. Oh my lord. Okay, well that's a really easy way. I mean, we talked about, you don't need to have your sniper dominate to win, but we didn't really mention the spy, and Chlor is still here in the server.
And apparently so did China National TF2 teams. Chlor gets another 2 picks, and they're gonna move up the second with a sizable Uber. Like, that's like 35%. You take this.
Yeah, that's something to work with. The team really aggressive.
Okay, Jerry in the actual skybox. But they're actually going to lose. That's going to turn into a little bit of a disaster. They sack it. They're trying to... Buko's up. He's going to get a pyro pick, and it's going to be it. Fish is going to get stabbed, though. That's fun, but there goes fun.
I think they just wanted to... They just wanted to sack because they wanted to build for their Uber anyway. Like, why try and
but look at their Uber. They lost, like, 80% off.
I feel it's a separate issue because you only need one person to stay with Spaghetti.
Yeah, I know. That's why I think, like, I don't know if that was intentionally a sack. Like,
15% ad.
Yeah, 50% ad. We'll see how that goes. They're gonna get a heavy, so that's an immediate first kill there, and they're gonna get the demo. It's gonna have to be like a wild, wacky scout pyro Uber.
It's not the end of the world.
You still take this. Take your scout and just, mow them down.
Yeah, they're really collapsing hard right now.
Yeah, it's people. I feel like. Oh, wait, bomb.
Oh, imagine.
That was dude. If he hit the fall, that would have been crazy. But that was a really good example of you don't need the demo to take Ubers, because the scout pyro Ubers can be really gross and like they're already there. It's the long bar Ubers, you say.
Yeah, and he was eventually there. I mean, they got some cap time. Probably, if you were a blue team, you're hoping to see a little bit more. They got how far back the
banner here. They can actually, there goes Buko. So that's already a sniper down. That banner just wanted more time to get the Uber on offense.
That's huge because it actually allows them to achieve their ad. Blue team could have tried to try beforehand and then win before the red team's Uber came into play. That was realistically their only way to find a short victory, like a very quick path to victory. And the banner kind of canceled it out. So now blue team has their ad. Blue has to build the entirety of the Uber. If they try to dry now, they put their medic at risk. And if they don't want to put their medic at risk, yeah, I mean, people that are getting...
they're taking the ad, actually. Well, they're not going to get picks. That was
why? With how far... They weren't even that far forward yet. I was going to say with how far forward the rest of the team is, with how far back Spaghetti is, you probably don't need to use the kill
I
them.
think they just presumed they'd had added pop because the space.
I think they presumed Spaghetti was much far forward than they actually saw. It needed to definitely wait for their spy, and
but they're still dying anyway.
This execution, it's not the best.
Wait, Scourge got Spaghetti.
They capped a little bit. They got some time.
Jack X is behind. Jack X and Piika has salvaged that push.
And decloak on the cart, cap it in, just barely. Clutch heavy play.
That was actually a huge clutch heavy play, because if the demo walks around there, they're probably not re-pushing that, so... They
Both teams almost screwing up.
The whole team's screwing up, and again, like you mentioned earlier, if you screw up on defense, it's a lot worse.
Yep. I think they just honestly thought the Spaghetti was closer and achievable as a kill, and were wrong.
It would have been good if there wasn't a Pyro there also. The Pyro was like ready and prepared for like that.
I think blue team just chased too hard with their ad. Just stay around the cart so that people don't die.
Well, they didn't get to do any damage because all the stickies went back towards the demo.
It's fine if you don't do damage as long as your card's getting pushed, and they'll eventually arrive. But immediately losing your demo, Destrong's dead. Demo's dead.
Yeah, they're gonna have to just sit here and wait till the card explodes and then the card. Oh, okay, they got a scout actually. That bought them a lot of time.
And he
has a lot of space, and they can't really do too much with it because no one's pushing the card. So
he's halfway there.
Yeah, they're getting close, and this is where you have to go.
Pyro dropped.
Yeah, Pyro dropped, and Trev is doing so much of these Ubers. They're gonna have the better Uber here to top, but we'll have to see what they can actually get.
Oh, Zebra's dead.
They're gonna get Zebra here, but can they get the ball? They're gonna get the crowd up the hill. They don't. Oh, they block it. Four can't get it. They're gonna get it in the end, but that was a little sketchy.
They really messed up that Uber a little bit because your Pyro being dead means they can't maintain the space from the better Uber of the opposing team. I mean, Sobi dying is gonna buy them a little bit of time to maybe get some sort of gun up, but I mean, their whole team on the blue team otherwise is really aggressive at main for the most part. They've backed off at least a little bit now that everyone's respawned, but relatively even. Blue team pushed the crowd up a little bit, and we're probably gonna see them work outside, at least I didn't imagine. They're main, maybe they're just going for a sack. Yeah, they're just sacking straight up while the gun's level 1.
They actually get the gun, so a bit of a... They get the scout, that's the best they can really do. Actually, Core's gonna get the heavy, so that's actually 2 pretty good picks, because they have a...
And the gun's gonna rebuilt too.
I forgot that is a fun thing about Vigil we didn't mention, is that the ult... Vinty? Alright, got Core. That is a fun thing about Vigil, is that defense spawns really fast, so getting picks isn't as big on Vigil compared to other maps, because they just come a lot faster. They get there a lot faster.
Here's the Uber exchange, coming out of the red room. They're ending towards main. They just wanted to cycle the Uber and get it out of the equation.
That's kind of, yeah, I'm okay with that. That's like, then you just play the post, make sure your sniper doesn't get owned.
Banner from the red team whenever it is needed over by the flank side, just in
Blue
case.
Blue is really slow.
Yeah, I think the fact they lost their heavy kind of put a thorn in their plans, or maybe they wanted more to push off of for the straight-up dry. I mean, Buko's kind of here on the flank, getting ready to get some picks and stuff, but it's just hard. The gun needed to get taken down. It finally will. They're trying to get aggressive on the red team with the banner, and that's going to kind of block things. I think the immediate banner blow is what made blue team kind of stop their dry, but they didn't even attempt it, so they just held it up until this point, which bought a lot of time. It's almost time to just exchange straight up once again. At least, ideally, I don't think another banner will be coming from the red team as soon as the post happens. So that is something that RR does have disease in their favor. They're going to the flank, too.
And then just held on it, so like the psychological factor.
They're in.
Okay, Scourge is going to get Buko. That is a huge here. Scourge can stay alive here during the super. They're on the flank, and already they're down 3. This is not looking too hot. Sophie's going to get caught, and he's going to trade for Fish.
He's dead.
Going to trade his life. And can Boss... Boss is on Spaghetti. Boss is missing it. They finally got the clean out. Got their friend, helped them out. But, yeah, they got a soldier, and it's kind of it. Now Red has Uber Ed, so might be looking a little sketchy for the side of RR. They gotta, like... They went a flank Uber, but the thing is their sniper died immediately, and I don't know what their play was other than to have Buko get a lot of kills.
Yeah, I mean, if you take an Uber exchange and immediately lose 3 players, it doesn't matter, like, how your execution of it was. I was about to critique them for, like, you know, it's unfortunate they weren't able to get the gun or anything like that, because that kind of prevents the post, but, yeah, that's Chlor dead. That's going to make it hard to go for any sort of dry, because the gun's still going to be there. Getting the red dome in, though, Zebra dead, the gun's getting picked up, move back to the box position. Gives him a little bit of room to peek. You'll see Jack doing that. Doesn't have a whole lot of support.
So see me picks. He drops down.
Kind of hard.
Immediately gets lit on fire.
Getting the gun is huge.
They're actually going to get the move off of it.
they felt like they needed to use though, but realistically this is just a successful force. Spaghetti has the Uber. Buko has respawned. They're not waiting for him though. He's not going to be behind the Uber quite yet. Heavy gets backstabbed. They're just running straight in. They want to get this gun out of the equation. Rotated over to the flank side of the red team. They're actually attempting walking down the stairs. They're flanking them behind them. They have to turn around and be careful.
Zebra's getting so much damage on the card. Zebra's actually farming damage so but there's no cleanup. They're getting the card down. There's the cleanup end of the run. But Red's losing a lot of players too, so they gotta... They successfully held, and they're gonna get their players back in time, but Spaghetti's gonna have a small ad.
Yep, and that could be enough to work with.
If it is any other map, it'd be really bad, but they're all up so fast. Like, they're already all up for this. Yeah, I think it's actually a small mistake from Sophie going this fast, because, like other maps, that's a puzzle move.
That's a... I mean, yeah. Well...
Alright, interesting. I wonder if that's attack.
Maybe. I mean, there's plenty of time left on this last. If blue team keeps having a hard time pushing, maybe they're like 90 seconds of future. They're like, what are we doing wrong? What do we need to change? Right?
I wonder if Zebra got stuck again.
That'd be funny on a completely different map. You're right. These
oh, sorry, you go.
These respawners are brutal. You go through your TF2 Highlander career trying to have the understanding like, hey, you can't trade your life on defense. You respawn so much slower, it's really, really bad, but this map is slightly an exception, it feels like, if the pick's good enough.
Yeah, it's like, blue can make up for that with, like, they have a really aggressive telly, but, like, plus blue is a telly, it takes blue longer to waddle all the way to the fight than it takes red to just...
You just can't have an even fight.
Boss almost got Buko and picked out, so now there's no spy, so Buko knows he has a free angle. He's gonna work his way over to the flank, and Fish is gonna die too, so there's slowly bleeding players here on the flank.
Yeah, they're going straight in. They take out
they're gonna get
past the pyro. Just straight up past the pyro. Ignore him. He's not a factor despite being alive.
Yeah, I think I saw a detonator round.
Holy disrespect.
I mean, listen, the pyro has like the funny secondary out. Yeah, just walk past him. It makes sense.
That's crazy. It works though.
It's a great hold though. 10. I don't know if the ball factors into that. So like, at worst, like 9.
I mean, it makes sense in terms of, like, it's a medic killing Uber, so, like, if a player, especially because it was a scout, has the opportunity to get past the pyro, you might as well do it, because if you kill this pyro, you're probably not killing the medic, and then they Uber, and then it's all over, right? Yeah. But if you jump past the pyro, maybe you can play risky and comedy, be like, I bet I could get to him, which, I mean, you're kind of putting the entire push into your hands, but, I mean, sometimes that's required.
Deep like that is good because like that means that if you're going deep like that, there's a good chance they stay and kill you and don't shoot the guys in the car, and they were a hard stacking the car. So
yeah,
I think it worked in the end. Though. Like it's okay if you go deep and die if you like get your guy, because then the follow up of everyone else just like the heavy, the pyro, everyone else on the car. Ended up working out pretty good.
Yep, took a couple tries though, which is definitely something that the current blue team can take advantage of, but who knows? They might find some issues elsewhere on the map. Where realistically,
Buko, granted, offensive sniper on Vigil can be kind of tough. It's little Buko going from the best player of the server to bottom of the server.
I mean, I told you this is the map where your sniper can get kind of trash canned, and it doesn't matter. The sniper can have impact, but doesn't inherently have impact on this map.
Well, Buko's getting trash canned and his team was losing, so it might be the other way around.
True, but blue team on the move, no sacks, straight up Uber exchange territory. Jam going in, air blasting back a bit, they're chasing him down. Oh, they went behind, killed the heavy, traded lives for it, taking the demo out of the equation. Nice headshot.
I have to activate Buko by smack talking a little bit. Mission accomplished.
But realistically, I mean, you respawn quicker. Those players got to go ahead and take the teleport. If it does not exist, the telly is dead.
Yeah.
And you can also go for an honest try here, 7v9. See if you can find an opportunity.
Not
when your demo man immediately dies, efficient bombing in. They get the gun, which is something, but they've given up way too much for it. Except for getting the body shot.
Fish had the distraction. Action was huge. They were all looking at Fish going for air shots. I'm not even joking.
A little bit of hubris there. Oh, and the rogue's dead too. Buko claps back. He's like, my team's leaving. It's fine. I'll stay. It's the pick classes. I mean, we talk about
going
how...
for another stab. He's gonna get it.
What is happening? He got a 3K. The pick classes just got 5 kills in a row. We talked about how you know, what happened on Upward, it was Pit Class City.
Okay, there we go.
Upward was Pit Class City. The Vigil doesn't have to be that way, but sometimes it just still is. So they buy so much
Vigil
time.
also is a good spy map. That is an underrated part of Vigil. Like on Hill, you can genuinely get like 4 or 5 like chain maps.
Yeah, the window for the blue team to try here is a little bit smaller. I mean, they still have a one attempt to go for it.
That one air blast actually sent them so far. That was like that was kind of gross.
Immediately all dead. So that was their one dry attempt. Now you're in Uber territory for the red team. So blue just has to build up the
getting
rest
a little
Uber,
spicy
really.
with it down the hill.
I mean, they're half dead. He's fine going for it. Maybe get an extra kill.
That's not awful. But
at least your team still has ad there, right? So they can take it without you or something like that. Worst case. Rogue, has to build up the rest of it. A couple more seconds off the clock, which, depending on the round, I mean, sometimes a couple seconds is all you really need. But there is a lot of time to work with, so...
Where's Core? Okay, Core's in position in, like, the normal, like, spying on him spot.
He's probably just going to wait for a post. It's blue team's time to move, and they're going for the exchange.
Yeah, they're going for the exchange.
Just a solo. The Pyro's kind of around, air blasting a bit. Not too much needed, though. It's just pretty much a cycle as they've rotated into the tunnel. It is spotted, though. Chlor called out ahead of time. They're immediately stuffed. They're trying to work their way through. The gun needs to die. It's getting sapped right now. Spam last second. They are unable to prevent the gun from dying as it is funneled through the tunnel side, both ends, splitting up the attention of the red team. They are just going all the way. They split up the attention completely. And they capped that through. They knew it was happening to the red team. They knew that it was a tunnel push split, and they were not able to hold on.
I noticed that China National TF2 team is way more confident with the deathball strategies in general compared to what they were doing in Upward. They just seem like they have a much better flow of the game if we're all walking together, sharing the same brain cell.
Yeah, and that nets them the point as well.
Yeah. Yeah, see, now that they're all going on flank, they're all holding hands, all that good stuff.
Definitely plays into their comfort a little more. At least it appears from this bird's eye view. But once again, Uber coming through.
Okay, they're gonna immediately get the post, but can't get the gun sadly. But gonna get a bit of time. Boss is gonna fall, but Core is also gonna fall. So no spies on the field. Which, well, Scourge isn't going to be on the flank, and Scourge is going to immediately get a heavy. Wait, Fish is going in for a bomb.
That's wrong. They're just in. They're cycling all these kills. They're just gonna cap it up.
Puka's at an 8 kill streak and they've lost 2 points. And the Puka's at a 9 kill streak, but it doesn't matter if you're just consistently losing these points.
You can get trash canned in the SVS and your team still wins. This is that map. Like, your sniper can go absolutely huge for you and it does not matter.
You know, maybe that's why I like Vigil. It doesn't matter if I get.
It's less pressure. Yeah. You just do the bare minimum and then hope your team does the rest. It's not unlike Upward where it's like you do everything.
I also like Upward, so maybe I'm just built different. Who knows? But regardless, Scourge is going to keep being held. They have a good amount of time to push fast. They can have several mistakes and still get an opportunity to win this half.
Yep, this is a small ad though. I mean, 20% worked last time. It was a bit ambitious from the opposing team, but losing your sniper. That's going to make things hard. Also, the spy's rolling out, so you can't sap the gun for an Uber ad push right now. You're probably better off just waiting for Scourge to respawn and go for an exchange.
They actually want to go at least then, because Scourge should be here for the replay.
No gun sap, though. Spy's still not there. And the air blast, they don't want to use their Uber. There's the gun. Oh, no! He tried to walk up for the gun sap, was unable to get it, and that is just a full-on greed hold. They're bombing in now.
Scourge is in red, is in tiles. Dosh running the...
Oh, the pipe out of spaghetti? The sticky has to use.
They got the
Rogue can get out though. Can Rogue get out? Rogue
they have the level 3.
Buying some time. Scouts are behind the logo. Are they able to escape? They're caught in no man's land. Oh no!
Died like 3 times in this fight. Oh my god, that was a major.
That's
collapse.
really good from Red. That's actually crazy
that
good
was
from
a
Red.
Huge collapse.
They needed to kill Rogue there.
Yeah, they had to. But so for that blue team again, they can mess up several times here. Like that, they still got 4 minutes and 30 to push last, which is more than reasonable. So yeah, take a couple minutes, go for an exchange, get all your pieces in place first before you go.
Yeah, it might be a bit easier to have everything synced up. Like their spy almost got the sap, just last second couldn't.
Yeah.
And immediately found.
Yeah, that's gonna put a bit of a damper in it, but they're kind of trying to try and at least do something in the meantime. Yeah, looks like they're kind of doing like a half sack here where they're okay to buy because they're just going through. But you just gotta make sure that there's no more silly flank points.
if you have disad and your spy dies, so there's not a sap onto the gun, I mean, you're not.
There's not much else to do.
Like you were really just hoping
Try or
that
go take flank or something.
You're pinning it all on your sniper to win the SBS, which is the defensive sniper, which is going to dodge like his life depends on it. But they will go for the exchange finally, just buying their time. The sap comes off, so it should, in theory, die. The Uber comes out with a red team chasing down. Rogue, a little bit too ambitious, depending on the cart, feeling like he's
greedy.
safe.
Red is getting so greedy. Oh my god.
Oh,
Spaghetti's
popping the
up.
Spaghetti.
Spaghetti's gonna die from midair.
MK with a snipe midair. Rogue just barely alive. Never mind, Rogue. Rogue feels like he's safe back here.
He gets another massive hit first. Jack X has been blocking the cart this whole time. They won that fight. They're 3-up, and the cart has moved the inch because the heavy.
6K ends. I will say the blue team had, Rogue in particular, way too much confidence on how far the red team was going to chase. Just idling around the cart area like, yeah, this is a safe place for me to be 2 times over. Getting attacked, and the second time being the thing that nets the kill. But 2 combo classes dead on the red team, plus a stab in.
This
could be the moment for blue. They're running in.
Could be it. The flank's completely dead. They're screaming in.
Yep. They have. If this was the moment, it would be it. They have to cap though.
Oh my god.
They're gonna get this gun down.
Rogue's gonna fall too. They're still just screaming in. There's still 2 up, and the respawns are gonna come and not come quick enough as Jack X is trying his best, but it's not gonna be enough.
A little scrappy, but it's enough.
I think Jack X genuinely bought 2 minutes of time there just by like those flank plays. Like that was 2 fights in a row where he single-handedly won his team the fight.
And you can definitely see why this map was picked by China National
They look
TF2
so
team.
much more comfortable.
They also don't care that Buko is going crazy. Like he'll be on a 9K and they literally could not care less because they'll find their victory elsewhere. And for every kill Buko gets on sniper, a kill will be found elsewhere in some other way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
I also think that this is the first time that we saw RR look absolutely lost on their offense. The first time that they approached a point and just had not really an idea of how to like just sweep the rug from under China National TF2 team.
Yeah. I definitely agree there. I think that overall, just Deathball strategy seemed to work. I think Zebra definitely stepped up. I think the flank of RR still is struggling a little bit. Like, I think the fact that the heavy is, like, dropping out a window behind your team twice in a row is not ideal for, whoever's holding Red Room. But, like, in the end of the day, like, they overcame it and won. But I think that's definitely still, like, I think it could, I see the vision and it could be better.
I agree. There's definitely room to work with for both teams. Because even though there was, 3 minutes left on the clock, it still felt like a even-ish game.
Yeah.
Like, I know sometimes you look at games and with a time gap of 3 minutes and it can feel dominant sometimes. But no, there are moments of glory for both teams and moments of struggle for both teams. It just came down to how long did your struggle take.
Yeah. I will say Blue managed to overcome the odds there and actually kind of post-fight push there because the red players died so late that their respawns were actually slow on Vigil.
That too. They didn't have to fight against the respawn advantage that would normally exist for them, but it just dawned on this map.
Like, they had a really good telly, so they just got there instantly.
That definitely helps.
It does definitely help. I also think we haven't seen a super good second hold yet. And I'm waiting for that to come out. Because at some point, someone's going to have a good hold on second, and it's going to throw a whole wrench into the match flow.
Yeah, I think China National TF2 team pushed on their first try. I think
it was
their
first and a half.
RR did they cycled they
cycled
took 2 tries.
But their second try worked really well.
And then RR, I think they did a sack wave, and then they approached when they did offense, and then it worked. So, I mean, honestly, 2 tries is not bad for second.
Yeah, 2 tries isn't bad. Yeah, I think 2 tries is more than reasonable. I think RR kind of got lucky, but they I think that it could have very easily swung around the other way if Jack X didn't make a big play there. Which, again, another big Jack X play. I'd have to say I think even though he lost my MVP that round, it might have been Jack X just in terms of individual impact. On heavy, having 3 impact plays, I can actually remember the heavy playing the game is kind of impressive.
He got a 6K and wasn't baiting more than you expect a heavy to normally bait. You have to do a healthy amount of baiting just to make sure you don't immediately just die. Because so much on this map, you are not playing beam. You are living off of arrows. Maybe you get a buff at a lucky moment. But otherwise, you kind of wait for someone else to initiate and then you follow up properly. And his timing worked out to make sure that they didn't lose that faster than they did.
Yeah.
So definitely has to keep that up. That's the scary thing, though, is your heavy is playing really, really well. Buko is playing fine as well, I think, and Chlor.
Yeah.
But yet, you need more?
Yeah, again, it's
that's
a
really scary.
Like,
that's a really scary statement.
It's kind of like the whole is greater than the sum of its parts, where it's like players are playing individually well, but the death ball in general, people are just dying.
Yeah, I think might have to look more into the explosive classes, maybe is the theory that I'll stick to.
Yeah.
I said that before the game started, that it really comes down to the way that your explosive classes perform. And, I mean, it's not to necessarily say that Jerry and Soapy played bad or anything like that, but there's a reason why if the star players on your team are not the explosive classes, there may be a correlation as to why you lost, is because, cool, they had nice moments, but that's not is what is going to be the ticket to victory.
Yeah, Jack X actually went 16 and 13 on heavy. He's second fragged his team.
A little bit of cleanup here and there.
Pretty impressive. You got 3 meta kills on heavy. You take those.
Yeah, 2 of them were just flanks straight up.
Yeah.
Caught Rogue off guard.
Yeah, Buko top fragged the server. MK actually 17 and 13, so pretty good for Scout. Chlor 16 and 15, so going positive again, something I think that China National TF2 needs to work on. I've always said, as someone who plays puzzles a lot, it's like, okay, guys, you can let the spy kill people occasionally and still win the game. You don't have to lose the game to chase the spy, but
right.
I think they can put a little more, attention to detail on it.
I really think the main way that RR comes back is honestly probably more in their defense, unless their offense.
Yeah.
All the offense is extremely important, realistically, but it's just one point. The only thing that was really tragic was how long it took them to take last, which China National TF2 team also took a while to take last.
They
but,
did.
You can strive to be better in an even matchup and win a certain parts of the map. So there's room there, and that's definitely, it has to happen for sure, because otherwise you're not capping last. Yeah. But I think if you want to come back into the swing of things, you need to start having a way stronger defense. And I think that it probably comes down to the spam and not losing people. Because how you make sure that you don't lose people is if the entry is really good. I also think that we saw on second, they were a bit punished one time with them milking the Uber.
Yeah.
And then being forced to use an ad and stuff like that. So
yeah,
I think
every time
they're addressing their holds is a bit sketch.
I think every time we've seen China National TF2 take an ad Uber, it has never ended well.
True. And I think that's probably reinforces the concept up until now, where it's we can milk, it's fine. If we screw up and we accidentally give them ad because we're forced to use later, they're not going to do anything with their ad.
Yeah.
But I feel like even though not all the times their posts are going well, it went well enough. That snowball on second was really, really good, and second is supposed to be one of the stronger holds on this map for some teams.
Yeah.
So we definitely want to lock that down. I don't know how both these teams view their own strongest points to hold, but second is definitely a very, very safe one.
Yeah, second, it's last, then second, then third, then first in general.
Yeah,
you can't although I think sometimes third is a sneaky hard hold point. It's not as common as second or fourth, but it can happen. I've seen some matches with it. First, I've only ever seen Jacob teams hard hold people on first, not upward.
First requires a severe diff, I think.
Yeah, upward first, I've seen even good teams get hard. I've been hard held on first, and then we hard held on the next team. Sometimes first and upward is just tough, but this map not so much. Even with the forward hold, which I wonder if they're gonna stick with the forward hold. That's just their strategy. The quote unquote meta now. If they're gonna go back to more passive hold to see if they can have a better second.
It's a good point. I feel like both teams got to set up a second. Remember, we talked about how it took 2 tries at least for both these teams to actually secure second.
One way or the other, at least. Even if it failed, it's still I don't think anyone
Well, it's because the first try cracked a code and getting the medic out of the equation or something like that, right?
Yeah.
or like getting picks,
What are
etc.
we waiting on? Let's see, MK unreadied. I think both teams are not ready.
There's 5 soldiers in the server, so I think so.
That's good though. You know, more soldiers the better. Let's see, who are the off classes? It's the 170 ping engineer off classing on soldier and the medic. Medic makes sense. Medic players, there's some reason, you know, there's some kinds of medic players that like always play medic in the pregame, and then there's like the players who never play medic in the pregame.
Yep, no in between.
Yeah, it's I usually end up playing with the medics who don't play medic.
Either freedom from the prison or you embraced it from the get-go.
Yeah. I look at the stats here again.
Oh, we're going live.
Ooh, there we go. I was about to I was about to bust out a story.
All right. Big changes for RR. They need to fix their last.
Uko
And-
AFK.
60 seconds.
They need to fix their last, and I think they need to be more aggressive in their defense, because their passiveness on milking the Ubers, I think, is likely going to potentially screw them over. If they're like, just find a clump of blue players and just like Uber into them, and you're a-okay. Especially when the blue team's already Ubering.
Yeah.
I think, honestly, I don't think China national TF2 team needs to change much more than their last.
Yeah, a
like,
couple things to be cleaned up.
Everything else was like
Ubers.
okay.
Yeah,
to be
I think they just need to be a little more better with their Ubers on second and third.
Just don't chase. Okay, here's the big thing for them. When they have their ad, it's okay to not chase with the Uber. It's okay
Especially
to
if the Pyro's alive.
just go for it a little bit and then just be by the cart, and people will come to you. You don't have to search left, and because you're gonna miss all the people that come from the right, for example. Just like a in general thing, but
I like how every engineer
The gates
uses
are
like the Reddit wrench now. It cracks me up.
the
fucking-
Reddit wrench.
It's the science wrench. The Eureka effect. Right?
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I just always called it the Reddit wrench.
I mean, free resupply. They get to
It's not.
prevent
It's a good weapon. I just like it makes like a. I don't know. It makes a.
It's anti.
silly
Look,
sound.
it's happening right now. He gets to play anti-spy.
Yeah.
Literally shot him a little bit.
Exactly.
But the Uber comes out. The Uber changing, and that means
He's holding the Wrangler in spawn.
right. So the gun's not doing any damage. What are they doing? Where are they ending this Uber? Where are they ending this Uber? What is happening in the
Rogue,
tunnel?
get your man.
Rogue,
Get him,
Rogue
Rogue, get him.
Zebra ended in the tunnel alone, and then just died.
Spaghetti's really aggressive though. Okay, they end up getting him, but a little
Did they
sketchy
do
there.
that so that they would be completely turned around from where the rest of their team is, like sacrificial lambs? Because if so, it did not working. I mean, look at
they got
first.
first, I guess, mission accomplished.
That
The
is-
flank pushed up in the post. It was very strange.
See, normally you would have like a flashed flank player to take upon that role. Get into the tunnel and give them a reason
Yeah, you
to
said
turn
like
around.
your scout or something.
Right, but they just took their whole combo Ubered, and like even though they both died and they have disad now, they technically got first, so that's something. But
Maybe they really wanted to kill Jack X.
I don't know.
They knew he was the threat.
with that ad here on the horizon, they gotta just drive straight up, and as soon as they get their
Sophie
way
met
through
them
the
in the
doors,
door.
they are dead.
Wait,
They
got
get spaghetti though. That's the only
That's
kill
a
they
huge
needed.
pivot.
They
Yeah, there you
broke it
go.
out. It was out. That was the only kill they needed, and they found it. That's super duper clutch.
That is super duper clutch. And Sophie's gonna put up an aggressive trap, and Buka's gonna at least peek a little, see if anything's happening. But overall, that's a big disaster. Fish is very wisely gonna take the space, make sure that no one's getting their heads cut off.
Or dying to traps, which Sophie
Yeah,
has
dying
to
to
give up.
traps. Yeah.
But
We'll have
ad
to
for
see
them.
how this goes. How far back my team is playing.
Now they're going through main.
They
They're
can
putting
milk this,
themselves
yeah,
in front
milking
of
this,
the.
and I
They're
totally
so
get why.
afraid.
Yeah, they're so. This is Spaghetti's the farthest one forward somehow.
This is. I don't want to say generational fear, but like
That's pretty fearful. They're trying to refight now, but it's too late.
Yeah, I mean, they got kills, but they respawn right where they... Look, there's the resup. Everyone get resup. There's the cabinet right there. It's opened up in the tunnel. They, I mean, really gave
Just because you're disad doesn't mean you can't play aggressive. It just means you have to play in a position where you can leave. If you just let them walk in, they're gonna just walk in.
There was not a single player that's like, oh, they're going tunnel? Let me be at the top of the hill above them and take that ground so that they
Yeah.
can't just push behind the Uber. But not one single player on red decided to do that,
Yeah,
which
like
is
no
why
pyro to like reflect any damage. Yeah.
after the setup dropped, I said that RR needs to play more aggressive in their defenses and stop with like being super passive and blue
Just
teams
giving up
over
all the
again.
space.
Right, and they got super punished for it this time.
Alright, well, this sack not going too hot. I don't even know if it was a sack and people just died, but they got 4, and that's honestly pretty nice. So,
I mean,
you take those, I guess.
Better than nothing, but still, like...
Look at Destrod. Destrod's like... I'm a little worried for him, buddy. Okay, he's getting out. He was like the last man standing, like, kind of behind everyone.
Oh, never mind, he's not fine. He might... Oh, okay, he didn't really take any damage. But even Uber territory, I think the big thing here is if Scourge gets to have a sightline.
Yeah,
and
that's
he might because of how passive Red likes to play,
Ooh,
but
Buko.
Zebra dying kind of kills the Uber exchange. That gives more time for the red team. But if red team plays passive here and just lets Scourge take shot for shot for shot, it's all on Core who's dead.
Wait,
I was about to say, it's all on Core to kill Scourge.
He has the buffalo steak sandwich just pushing the card, I think.
This is not great for red. Here's the exchange. They're hiding. They're hiding away.
They're hiding and leaving. Look at the card time. They're getting the card up, but
they're here now.
There's no one to shoot.
They've lost Buko though.
A rogue
Floor's not there to stab.
Jack X is but look at this. They're taking the space. Jack X is caught between everyone. He's shooting the flank and getting shot in the back. Everybody left.
This is the fundamentals. Milk and Uber sucks in Highlander. This is why I say Milk and Uber sucks in Highlander. You gotta get in there, you gotta damage them, you can't let them just immediately post as soon as you're over.
The reason you don't milk is so that way they don't take the space, and China National TF2 is doing a masterful job taking the space, and everyone, okay, so we got staff looking up trying to airshoot finish.
And they're just getting dismantled. They can't even set this up. They are down so many important classes right now. No Spy to take Scourge out of the picture. No Buko to lock things down. No Sobi to pump out the damage. They're just up there at the box. They have a box heavy already. Up against the wall, we're pushing it in. Scourge gets a kill on the engineer. That gun's
This is such a great forward roll. This is so good.
All Buko's gone. They have to try to flank. They're going down the stairs, grabbing around from the big door. Is trying to pistol his way through. Gets the one kill on the MK. The Uber comes out in the blue team. Trying to clean him up. Two people in a dream. That's a 5-10 on Vigil. Are you kidding me? Oh my god.
That was, I'd say that's a textbook, like, taking space after a team loses a point. That was, like, I could
That's some Highlander right there. Yeah. That is some Highlander.
I could not have asked, like, if I had to draw it up, like, how you would do that, like, to do that push as fast as possible, that's how you do it. You take the space, you make sure you kill, like, because Red just kind of trickled out. I don't think they were really expecting them to be that aggressive, because they kind of trickled out and just got whoa. Like, they just kept dying, and they didn't have a full, like, the opportunity to back.
That's the thing, is you have to, on Vigil, you need to play as aggressive as possible so that when you need to play passive, you gave yourself some room. If you're constantly trying to poke and prod and make sure the enemy team's health is not great, they're gonna want to like take a moment to reset at least a tad, and that gives you a moment to reset a tad. But if you're always passive nonstop, there's nothing to slow a death ball down whatsoever, and we basically saw that throughout the entirety of the China National TF2 team offense. So now, they have a chance to try to replicate that and do that themselves, which they did on the first 3 points, but last, I mean, I don't know if a pep talk on how to break into last is gonna be enough to really get them this round.
Someone get coach in there.
We might be going on the Lakeside. I think their ticket to victory is RR has to wipe China National TF2 team on third so hard that there's not even a last hold to really need to break through. Otherwise, we're on to Lakeside.
And I like that they're being aggressive here. A lot of teams, when they get a big time advantage, they kind of like, oh, we just need to have one good hold, and they just keep backing up and backing up and backing up, and they kind of do like the TA2 equivalent of like soft zone on defense, where you just give up so much space that you're like, oh wait, we just gave them all this.
Yeah, immediately down 2 on the red team though.
Immediately down 2, they have to stack hard.
See, this is good. Yeah. This is good. You know you're going to get forced otherwise, so immediately a bunch of players got to get flashed, get hurt. Maxi, they killed Maxi, and the Pyro can immediately fight out the back of the
and the banner. That's exactly how you want to play that.
And now they're
get in their face, so they can't take the space, and then you have a post
back for the post.
Yeah, that was again. They're playing the fundamentals very well.
Yep. Now just a drive. They're trying to get this heavy out of the equation. Careful, hoping over the hill. Sobi is dead. Look at Maxi. Maxi's is also dead. They get the heavy out of the equation. They've traded 2 for 2.
So look how much time they bought. Like
This
you don't have to win these fights. You just have to waste time, and they're wasting the correct amount of time.
And they've made an artificial ad on the red team as well. It's not supposed to be ad, I don't think.
Yeah.
But you know, it's given them some room. They can use it if they want to. They're not going to know it exists, but hey, if they think it's going to be exchanged and they just run forward, you know, they'll have
something cool.
room to work with.
Someone said Chlor is so good in the chat.
I didn't see. I'm sure he'd probably do something okay.
I think it was just the gun.
Well, they're spamming down the side tunnel. Uber comes through. They will have to go ahead and use. No power to blast things around.
So he's committing this.
You can't end there. That's a reset. I think.
They're getting a lot of card time though. They do have to adjust there. They're trying to death ball, but looks like red team this banner is going to help a lot. They're going to back up here. Jerry's going to bomb in, try to get something done. They're only really going to get a spy kill. That seems to be it. And that's a reset. They're going to try this, and drawing into second can get extremely expensive.
Yeah, I mean, there's no sniper, no spy though.
No sniper, no spy, but look at Fish is like prepared. Yeah, Fish is going to actually bomb again the other way. Okay.
They're getting kicked off. They are getting dismantled. I mean, they have some respawners, but
they have the gun, but yeah.
Kind of over for this one.
It is kind of over. I kind of actually wish.
Oh, the spaghetti is gone.
Ooh, okay. That definitely helps, but they're like I would have preferred if they like had a little more this the cart. I think I would have got a lot more. You need to kill Booker though. Sophie's again. Sophie, let's see if you can
full sending in. They can get the demo.
They get the demo. Okay, that's a huge stick, but they can take a Pyro Scatterer once the cart comes. So.
Yeah, you don't need
also,
them,
again,
especially because
look at the respawns. They're up in 5 seconds.
Or not Chlor. Boss is still alive.
Yeah.
So
like, again,
you can have a spy behind the minute. Quickie crits is the strat here. I don't think this is the path to victory per se. I feel like it's desperation.
At least that's desperation. But okay, they're taking an Uber. We'll see if they actually get a good one for once. Have lost 2 people.
They kind of have misjudged where all the players are. They killed the Pyro.
MK got it.
Just barely, but look how much they gave up for it though. I mean, they've really chased for that. They basically lost third. And even Spaghetti
still behind. Yeah. They're losing third for that. At least they have Uber for fast, but not all.
Yeah, honestly, I understand wanting to go for the medic that hard, and it was almost a little necessary in a way, but at the same time, the fact that you lost so many players
to do it. Like the scout going on a suicide mission, that's fine. I get that.
It's just the fact that so many other players died when you have an Uber is a big question mark.
I
like
forgot
how
their crits is not adding.
Yeah, it's like your team. Well, I mean, remember, Spaghetti died, but willingly went on crits again.
90% of it. I guess that just
Spaghetti
respawn
on crits.
That's crazy, yeah. Alright, this is their path to victory. They actually might take this. We'll see if this
It's all on this. They dropped Rogue the
Alright, let's see. Soapy Cam.
They surely Boss thought it was crits. Surely.
I don't know. That's
before he died.
Okay,
here's
Soapy.
the crits going out. And
okay,
they
knew it was
crits. They were so ready for that. They did lose the
got
Pyro.
it. They got X.
No engineer to repair the gun. Running around, able to find
Tom
Soapy.
is sad. Luca's trying to peek me, trying to make something happen. They still have 30 seconds left.
There's
they can still
dry.
try to push this, but they have a dry, and that's it.
Yeah, there's a singular dry. Oh, the cleaver on Ibuka though. That's gonna make it so much more difficult to dry.
Yeah, you need that sniper posted up in big door or red room, or else it's very hard.
And this aggression is so good. This is what you need. They can't set up.
You want to fight them not on the card. You want to fight them in front of the
look at him go. Look at him go. You can't let the blue team say, okay, let's buff up, guys, and then send it. You literally are preventing them from buffing up by playing this aggressive. You get the banner, and that's a nail in the coffin.
Yeah.
Really good play.
Too. Yeah, the fundamentals, like a little sketchy here and there, but the fundamentals for kind of national TF2 team were so much better on this map. Like, it's clear they had a better just like understanding of how to play the game on this map than Upward.
It was so like the dichotomy between Upward and Vigil, despite being both payload maps, are, you know, on one hand you can play on a map and you diff them so hard from your DM that it allows the basic fundamentals just be streamlined because there's no opposition whatsoever.
Yeah.
And versus Vigil, where you have a full deck stacked against you, not in a disadvantage, you have to purely carve your way through using everyone and not just pick classes or anything like that. And even when they do succeed, it might not be enough. And you're able to just literally out Highlander them. So with both of those, now we go down to Cough.
I was gonna say Lakeside is I like China National TF2 team, but Lakeside that might be flank gap again. I'm not entirely like it depends how they approach this.
I think it goes back to.
Also, I think Buko might have a field day.
It goes back to upward territory where it's like, obviously it's a Koth map and not a payload map, but where if your pick classes go crazy, you win. And Vigil, we saw your pick classes could go crazy, and it literally doesn't matter. But this is not the case. So if Chlor, Chlor doesn't even have to go for stabs. Chlor can just decloak on bats and start pusting people.
Yeah,
Buko gets a handful of kills somewhere, and even not just an SVS, but just like a general kill streak of like a handful of classes that make pool control better. Then it's pretty easy to kind of spiral it from there. So it's gonna China national TF2 team. I mean, it makes sense. This was an RR pick because they were the favored seed and they picked upward, and then they get the choose out of the last maps. But I think it was what was it, like Nidal and Product or something? I don't know. But either way, they can kind of show on paper why they feel so confident on this, and I think it's going to be all eyes on China national TF2 team to try to find a way to do whatever they did on Vigil and somehow bring it to a map that fundamentally does not necessarily work the same.
Yeah. I will say, gotta give credit where credit's due. Zebra with the 507 DPM that last half, way more than everyone else. Zebra was definitely stepping up there.
It's on the explosives for that map.
Yeah, and Fish did well too. Like negative KD 6 and 8, but less deaths than Jerry and almost as much damage.
Just impact.
We're also having very good banners.
Yeah, the banners are clutch. The damage in general is the main thing that prevents an opposing team from having buff players to fight at proper moments. And even if you're not getting kills, it doesn't matter as long as someone else gets them. I mean, it might not even show up as assists for you because it might be a beamed player that gets the kill and then your assist is stolen. So it's fine to have not great soldier stats as long as you actually watch, especially because, the assists and kills don't show, the banners don't show, but that's kind of the, it's kind of the impact in that way that matters. So we'll see if they're able to implement it on Lakeside, but it's not all about the explosive classes here. It can help, but
I was just looking through stats of the pregame because some snipers are like kind of Lakeside snipers more so than other ones. Plinko team actually they only had one round, but it was not a good round on Lakeside. At least earlier today in the pregame.
I mean, there was a scrim versus the number 1 seed, right, or number 2 seed.
It's there's scrims versus the number 1 and the number 1 2 seed. They got 1-0 and 3-0, so not ideal at least. But again, that's the better team. So.
Yeah, and every team plays a little bit differently too in terms of how much they focus on pool, how much they focus on forward holding, sacks versus dry fights, etc., etc. All of this has to be taken into account and cost. So.
I like in the chat. Have you been hitting the Vax for shotgun charm? I gotta hit the Kovacs for TF2 engineer shotgun.
Make sure you're prepared.
I will say I'm a little. I don't know. Lakeside demo, I feel like more so than other Koth maps can get a little sketchy. At least me personally, I feel like I struggle in Lakeside demo more than any other map, just in bugs, just because. The angles are a little odd. You kind of have to know.
They are. I mentioned this when I talk about Koth. Lakeside is the only map in the pool where you'd actually need good pipe aim. I think historically there's a handful of demo men. I'm not going to name names. There's a handful of demo men that I'm only on this class because there's no other demo men. Right, I'm off classing. I have the fundamentals and I can do okay enough at shooting stickies at heavies and centering guns and stuff. Right, I can get by.
Yeah.
They get exposed on Lakeside because Lakeside is the one map where, because of the angle of the staircases, you can't end your stickies exactly where you want them to. They don't hit the floor. So it tests your ability to air det properly. It also heavily tests your pipe aim in general. So it is a much more DM-oriented Koth map. It's the biggest DM-oriented map for Devilman out of any map in the entire pool.
Yeah, it is also something I also struggled with this map, just as a pug demo player, is that it's in order blind spam. I feel like you're either really good at it or you're just air deading like the oxygen.
Right.
If I want to peek to see the enemy, you have to peek the sniper because that just the map is so open. If the sniper's alive, he can see the center of the point. So, like, in order to see, oh, there's the enemies to shoot at, you risk just immediately just getting exploded. Which I think also is like, and Soapy's not a Highlander demo. Soapy's very good at demo, and Soapy's good at Highlander, but the two
Versus an
sometimes
actual demo main.
yeah, a
is the
demo
thing.
main. The demo main's gonna know all like the funky ankles. Like, yeah, I can play around the obelisk. I can do this. I can rotate like that. Whereas Soapy, Soapy's just going in there hoping for the best.
And Zebra's pretty good as well. Like sometimes, like I said, demo players are hit or miss, but Zebra's definitely a hit.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing, honestly, I was talking about a little bit before, is how pool is worked with,
Yeah.
and how teams deal with it, because
the
that can
flank
vary a lot.
for RR has shown up several times.
Because there's how much flank presence you put in, how much do you bring your combo over, not just to like let's do a pool hold, but I mean
Also,
like,
how much
hey,
the snipers look at pool too. That's
we're-
also
we're-
underrated.
there's so many teams that refuse to touch pool when they don't have the point when it's most certainly needed. Like, imagine a defending team that doesn't want to hold pool for whatever reason, and they're holding outside. We'll have an offensive team that like won't bring their combo to the pool to soften up for their flank first, and then rotate down the ramp to the stairs, which is like huge loss of opportunity to help like get room in pool. Because it's like such a fundamental thing where it's like, if you are trying to retake the point, it really doesn't matter how much you think you can win the fight on the point if they still have pool.
Yeah, because they're shooting you from the side.
You kind of just lose. You have to facilitate pool to be empty in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
And you're gonna come across various levels of resistance that will require various levels of attention. And you don't want to stack it too hard, because if you
they just go the other side of the point.
If it's overkill, then it's kind of like
they just stand on the point and shoot you in the little door.
It's always funny to see like snipers that are like they're sniping from obelisk, and a team's like, all right guys, let's go and help clear out the pool area for our flank. And then the sniper just like takes an adventure down their staircase past the ammo pack and just like sees them up all on the cliff and shoots one of them, right? Like, you need to have a balanced presence.
Yes.
So
I also think another underrated aspect of this map is which team is going to take the Ubers into the pool when they're Uber changing? Which team is going to have the dinguses who are AFK in pool while the Uber's happening and die and then throw the game? That happens many a time. I've seen it so many times I've lost count, and it's quite terrible. It's definitely I think I'm not gonna say it's the keystone of this map, but it's a very interesting point in terms of like, it's simultaneously important and also not that important. It's like very important side objective.
I think people feel comfortable sometimes where it's like, on a map like Product, it's small enough to where it's like, every single time there's ever a new Uber change, you get shot. You get that built into you really quickly. You need to get the heck out of there. But Lakeside, it's really hit or miss. Sometimes an Uber exchange can go on and you feel pretty comfortable in pool. Nothing really happens to you. You feel like you can greed it out a bit and be like, no, I can stay here. If I leave, their flank gets to come in, and I don't want that, so I'm going to stay here. I have this health pack. Like, that's fine. And then, you go a little bit too far forward or bite off more than you can chew, and then you end up kind of maybe not even dying from it, but just like not being able to participate in a post because you got hit and someone else took the pack and you're kind of out of it, means that you're basically dead because you can't participate. You have to run away to the dispenser right as soon as the dry starts. You're asking for an arrow when your demo man needs to get tanked. It's kind of over.
Yeah, and it's also just like, it's a weird part of the map in general because it has a full health pack, which is already unusual, and it has water, which is doubly unusual, which it's rare to see one of those things in a kind of map. Both of those things is extremely unusual.
Why do I get the really, really bad feeling that we're going to see one team is going to have a water heavy, and the opposing team is not going to rotate their demo man to pool to get rid of the water heavy. And they're just going to be like, guys, we can't push pool. The heavy's just in water. I don't know what to do.
Okay, you haven't seen the absolute, like, terrorism that, like, Blank and a couple other people have done by, like using the swim up and down key, which nobody in the game has ever used before. using it effectively to just like jump rev up and down from the pool is so annoying to deal with.
You can't deal with it, which is why you need to rotate a Doman over who can just like kind of corner bang the side of the door frame and just like air dart into the water even if he's swimming down.
Yeah.
And
it's just so, it's like you have to specifically use the swim up and swim down key in order for it to work.
Put it on your thumb buttons or something.
It's just like most people in the game don't even know it exists. Like if you ask the average like chatter, do you know there's like a dedicated button to swim up and swim down? Most people don't know. It's because like it doesn't come up because you normally can just like spacebar. Right?
Well, also competitive maps just take the water out of everything, so you don't.
Yeah. It's
you don't go through your
like even a
career.
pub, like it's really rare
well,
to see.
but
Like
pubbers are pubbers though. Pubbers don't know anything.
That's true. That's true.
Competitive players, you'd expect them to know at least a thing here or a thing there, but you'll constantly find them like, what does this unlock do? Or is like there's a swim up key, or because it's stuff that they don't see in their competitive games, right?
Yeah.
So the banned weapons, they don't know what it does exactly to the T, their percentages, and then there's no water in any map. Realistically, expare like, I mean, it's the little puddle in Swiftwater, the pool in Lakeside. There's none in Sixes.
The puddle in Swiftwater. You can't even like do a big jump off of it, can you?
You can, I think, but it's like kind of hard.
Yeah, if you want a throwback, the best water in any competitive map is the water in Freight because you can jump all the way across the map and it's really fun.
Yeah, that's too archaic though. At least the Swiftwater and Lakeside things are still relevant. But is there even any water in any other map, like in the Highlander specifically? Because I know there's none in Sixes.
See, Bad Water, there's no actual water on that map.
You don't play Bad Water anymore, do we?
I'm just thinking about like any map, like what maps are there like water on that have been played like in RGL? Like there's no water on Product. There's no water on Asheville. That'd be funny. Imagine if there's like a little bit of water in like the bottom of like under the point on Asheville, just like a little bit like
that is not. I mean, considering maybe under the point, but like that's not necessary.
Like it rained the day before, you know. Like where's the water gonna drain?
I don't know, somewhere.
Like up where there's no water. Steel, there's no water. What's the map they played this season? The funny.
Nidal,
yeah. I don't think there's any water in Nidal. There's Death Pits, which is good. But...
Yeah, Death Pits are fine. Water's a big no-no.
Yeah.
No huge soldier jumps allowed. You need to have the mechanics on your own if you want to go that high in the skybox. Which you can on this map.
I actually think that Highlander soldiers play on baby mode. Like it's not a baby game mode, but I think that Highlander soldiers don't have to learn how to jump as well because they have the whip and it just sends you to like the move.
It definitely helps.
It helps a lot. Like compared to like Sixes where you have to like make sure every jump is actually good, you can get away with a lot of like kind of poo-poo jumps on Highlander just because the whip exists.
The concept of high ground doesn't really exist as much for Highlander as well, if you think about it. Like scouts sitting up somewhere high to like, if you accidentally screw up a jump a little bit on Sixes
there's
maps,
a reason the parachute's been unbanned for a long time. It's like being up in the skybox doesn't matter when there's like a bajillion hit scan classes running around.
And even if you point out a thing here or there, it's like, wait, a scout could stand on this. Is like, yeah, and get shot. And get sniped. The sniper will find a way to dodge the SVS just to kill that guy. Free kill.
Yeah, Brad actually readied up. Looks like
we're ready. We're live.
Yep.
We're done killing time.
Ready.
All right. Will we see a giant soldier bomb
and run
across the point?
Jack X has the chocolate bar.
Oh, he's going for it. All right.
I don't know why. What's the theory there? Is it just pool?
Maybe.
Oh, it's for the pool fight because you have higher base health. That's actually really smart. Okay, so blue team has zero.
They didn't jump the pool at all.
The fish is behind.
They nearly lost their demo though on the side of the red team, which is gonna make it hurt for the spam. They're getting the kicks though. Scourge dead means that Buko kind of has free reign. Red team also doesn't need to be too afraid of
Jared bombs in, but he's gonna actually die for it, and so is Maxie's gonna die as well. So they're kind of like, as they're bleeding long enough, they can kind of refight this.
Oh, the strong
what's their demo spawns?
Interesting to see 0 people in pool.
They're really going. It's so sad they had to leave because they actually had Uber way early.
I mean, that's not gonna matter. Sniper slow things down too much.
Yeah,
we're not seeing a pool hold. We're seeing. I mean, they have some presence in there, but they're outside. I'm curious to where Soapy's gonna direct his team to be. I feel like he wouldn't ask for a pool, especially because he wants to get this exchange going, and they're playing a little passive on the side of
The
things.
team actually
Will
backed out
block,
of pool
though.
during the exchange, so big shout out to them. They actually know how to play the map.
Room for the blue team to actually enter pool, which they will do now. Putting some damage on the Soapy.
Jerry's
will
bombing.
immediately lose Zebra,
Jerry's going
though.
behind. They're trying to make some space, but Demo dead, not a good start as Buko is making his presence in for now. As Blue's kind of looking backwards right now, trying to deal. Flora's going to go for a stab. They're trying to put pressure on Scourge. Oh, okay, they do get him, but at the cost of a lot of deaths. They should be able to retake this.
And
look at
spam.
Spaghetti on the point. Yeah, they're going to get Buko. This is turning into a disaster for Red. They have to leave. Yeah, oh, they're white.
Yeah, I was about to say red team should maybe consider just holding us and giving up the point after they got all those kills. We're losing people. But honestly, for as long that chewed off like a decent amount of time there. I think them overall were the choices they made were pretty good. It's just not leading at the tail end there was I kind of got punished for it. So good job for Blue searching forward.
I don't know if they just weren't expecting it or but okay. Core just missed some over top of fish. That is so sad. Oh no.
Still dies.
Still dies in the end.
Dry fight though, no blue snipers. So Buko once again has a little bit of free reign. Red team can try to get on top of it without having to worry about walking inside a sniper sight line.
They were taking it out of pool, which is I think a good play. They still have the heavy pool, kind of posting up, but that's those spam angles you talked about. And Chom! Holy. Wait, look at oh, they get Rogue. Rogue backed up super far back, and Jerry just bombed over all their heads, so it's still gonna buy a lot of time. That's a big play for Jerry there, neutralizing those Ubers.
Yeah, made it a whole lot better for the side of the red team, because otherwise, blue team would just straight up have ad here to hold this pretty easily, at least on paper. I mean, I guess you can have ad and screw up and lose some players in pool, since the map's so wide, but they're just getting on top of the point. They're really trying to block this. No Ubers in the equation, straight up dry.
I think that's heads up from Blue there to actually like not let the cap free. Yeah. It was looking like they were about to do that.
I mean, as long as they buy time for time for Scourge, then they have to walk into a sniper silent, but now they're just unafraid.
If they're trying to edge the point, which is tough to do on this side.
Yeah, you kind of have to go all the way across.
They do a sniper ad, which helps, but like if Zebra's head's in the game, it's not gonna. They're gonna get this cap eventually, but like they're bleeding so much time.
He is buying so much time. You're right. They
finally got it. That was a solid like half a minute off the clock.
Opportunity to go for a force here, purely off of cap time.
Maxie's dead.
They're unafraid.
The Zebra blind pipes are insane.
Yeah, no scout speed for this Uber. It's basically a solo because I'm not counting the heavy. Buko's not there to punish them.
They got 0 kills. And look at Zebra. Zebra's like playing the flank here. They're gonna get fish in the post, but
he's getting the ball
back X is gonna go down. There's a little mini sentry in the corner. They can kind of just like edge cap this for now. Like they're all playing in like the corner.
Yeah, they had a lot of good pressure. Buko is not quite there yet, which means they will get to go ahead and cap this up. They're bombing through, they're going for the sack wave. They will get this force. That's honestly totally fine. Realistically, you already lost a lot of positioning there. Your sniper wasn't really available.
Retain the ad.
And Buko gets 2 as well.
Yeah, Buko might die though. Oh, okay, their med's out of time.
This is just straight up dry for red before the blue team gets all their players. The heavy's rolling out.
Do they have a telly up? Let's see. They have the aggressive telly.
Yeah. But no scout, no demo means it's literally just Scourge.
He's about to be here in like a second.
Yeah, Scourge is there. He's watching the sight line. He doesn't see Alden though. He gets Cham, but
yeah, he's already here.
They're getting some cap time. They're giving up HP for it. The engineer will die on top of the point. They're getting some respawners here on the side of the blue team. Mind the disad though. The red team will probably go in soon, and Chloric, I can only imagine, will try to meet Rogue as he begins to back up. Needs to find the angle which he retreats.
He's buying time. They're actually fighting for a pool. Look at their heals. Their heals kind of rotated toward the pool.
Yeah, this is good to escape from potential Uber. Jumping away, trying to escape. Floor coming in under Rogue. He's fine for now. 7
they got him. They had no follow-up.
Yeah, they lost
they're gonna get the point, but that's it. Look at Fish. Fish
they extended their respawn.
They extended their deaths, and like, look at this. This is such a good. I don't think they even need to use it.
Red team.
But look at Zebra. Zebra's just actually putting up like look at this. Oh my God, Zebra is playing so well right now.
I mean, they had 4 people dead.
One half the point, shot the other half the pipes.
Yep, they had 4 people alive on the red team because there were 2 seconds left until red respawned, and they just went ahead and capped it and delayed them for an additional 8 seconds. And now Rogue has the Uber. It's there. Buko's dead. It's there. Push the scrub. See it close enough. Go ahead and use.
Just take a scout pyro. I don't think you need a demo here.
Just go ahead and get any kills. You don't need to kill Spaghetti. Just get any kills whatsoever. There's people on the point to kill.
Oh my God, no. The kills.
We talked about earlier on how there was a fundamental kind of mismatch on terms of who is the proper kills to get in these ads for the blue team. And Spaghetti gets killed by Rogue, brought the Uber at the tail end of things, but I mean, even though it looked a little bit sketchy, it still works out. 1-0 in China national TF2 team's favor, and they're looking pretty good so far.
I've never seen a demo do that before. Have you ever seen that where Zebra put 3 stickies on one side of the stairs and then shot pipes at the other side of the stairs, and they genuinely walked into all the pipes because they didn't want to die on the track at the top of the stairs?
No, yeah, that's really good area control.
That's actually genuinely really good technology. I've never seen that before.
You see it all the time in Six's demos, which just with less stickies, you put one on the ground and it kind of is like, all right, you gonna eat this sticky or gonna eat this pipe?
Yeah.
Or run away and
Fish, that's a disaster for Red pretty much right off the gate. Look at that, they're just streaming at a pool.
They tried to fight pool and it did not really work out that well in their favor, which is interesting because Blue Team previously completely ignored pool whatsoever, and now they actually put some emphasis on it and it completely wiped Red, and maybe that's why, because Red maybe thought that it was going to be free and then kind of met their maker. But they're trying to...
I do like mixing up, honestly. A lot of teams do the same
Fish
strat all the time. Oh.
Oh, they're meeting them. This is really good. Oh, look at how many people. It's a family Uber. There's 5 people in the Uber. Flashes all around. No space to be gained.
And this is how you actually do the forward hold. This is very good. Look at Moss. Moss is in position too when they go past.
They did lose some people, though.
Oh, they rotated. Still, they rotated, but they fought on their side of the map, which makes it so much harder to fight now that they actually have to fight before. You get an extra fight. Yeah, Moss gets Plinko, so there's no sniper. Yeah. Moss is dominating Plinko, so Plinko having a tough time just running around bats.
Yeah, Red Team, to get on top of the point, they have to deal with Scourge, who does not have to worry about SBS, just shoot to your heart's content.
Yeah, look at
MK is on the point. MK does not care. He knows he's not getting sniped right now. Just gonna push forward, try to help kill any person that Zebra pipes down. Red Team with Spaghetti at low HP, getting body shots super stacked.
Yeah, look at Scourge. Scourge is position. You might see the medic if they're not careful.
Got the body shot at once, just wasn't enough to do the full-on kill on the Spaghetti, but almost Uber time for both teams. It's a very slim ad for Blue, which I don't think they're going to take the 10 ad, so it's probably going to be Uber exchange territory once Red Team actually shows up and up in Blue. Aggressive, ready to go forward. They're kind of seeing, oh, Zebra's not seeing where Sophie is. The Uber is needed to be used to go ahead and make sure the Doman is safe. Running forward, trying to get the force out of the right team. They dropped really Sophie. They milked it. Dropped Sophie. They're getting some cap time. They might extend his death if they get this cap. But in some ways, they might need to get the cap now or never because Sophie's not here. Blue Team's still on top of the point. Zebra's out of ammo, and it just really doesn't matter because they don't really have too much presence here. But
look at them, they're all back towards they're getting nuked.
They have no room here.
They're getting nuked towards like Scourge dies, but it doesn't matter. They're trying to like soften up the people in pool, but they're trading so many kills for it. They're gonna get it in the end, but the point time is just ticking down during all this. It's slow.
Red has to dismantle pool. I mean, I was kind of joking when I was saying, like, imagine we have a team that has a water heavy with an opposing team that refuses to bring their Doman over to pool to soften up the flank. They're not rotating to pool to soften up the flank. It's just
they did it after the flank's already lost.
They're fighting an opposing flank that has a medium health pack, or a full health pack in the room. Getting the Zebra kill is nice, but their Doman is dead as well, so that's not much of a window to actually use to hold on to this.
Scourge against Buko, that just is they're gonna have such free reign here to get on the point. It's so much harder to fight the point, and there's the other snipers alive.
Yeah, Uber exchange territory probably wants to Doman arrive.
He's doing a lot of damage, so they can't cap the point because of it. But
yeah, Zebra's just going in.
Yeah, that's it. I like this.
Couple flashes, bringing people over inside the pool. MKs drawing some eyes, took a lot of damage though, but the cap time is pretty good.
Yeah, that is pretty good. We'll have to see if they actually get this recap.
The deep look from
down Scourge, down Hardhack Jones, but they're gonna lose. Okay, Blue is losing a lot of players.
And MK is gonna delay them all. Oh, he doesn't delay them all. Okay, he ends up getting sniped.
Yeah, they're just gonna back up this one. So, Red Team holding on for now, but not a great start into this round. They're gonna get the dispenser. They're gonna try to go for a forward hold here. I like it.
It's not bad. I mean, it definitely, keeps the enemy on their toes.
I like it if they can actually do the forward hold. And 9 out of 10 TF2 teams cannot do the forward.
Yeah, they can't.
Do not play. They're not aggressive enough during the forward hold. They just.
That's a good start. They got Scourge. You can't have it all be on Buko though. They are doing a little bit of rotate to help spam down the Blue Team as they begin.
Jerry might die if they're not careful. Jerry actually gets to kill an MK, but is going to trade their life for it. And they managed to get out in the meantime. Like they're not.
Jerry does die though, which is pretty concerning for a Red Team if you want to hold on to pool long term, because it is even Ubers. Your flank does have some room to try to get in, and Zebra walking forward. Be careful. Yep, too many people in the Uber. Oh, they get dropped, and the power takes tons of damage. Red team, they took the initiative with that properly.
They might be able to play this off the Scourge if...
I mean, it's a little difficult, though. Red team doesn't need to get on the point. They just need to spam the blue team.
They're not doing it, though. Look at them. They just got the point.
Yeah, they've kind of failed.
They
kind of failed to prevent MK from
Scourge
just stepping off the point.
So the snipers are dying a lot, so there's a lot of like kind of games this round. They're not really, they're trying to shoot Chom. Chom's gonna die here. That might be, like, you're trying to get point time, but dying at the pyro on this map can be really bad. Like, underrated, like, how bad worthless that pyro is in this map, just the deny spam.
Yep, but they have their sniper respawn now for the blue team, so only a little bit longer until they have to hold off to prevent. Alright, actually, never mind. Cap is going Red's way, and they immediately lose their sniper as well. Core is able to kill him. I don't know if that was exactly a spawn camp, but as soon as he arrived, he was dead. Rogue, Red HP, very
Sophie's gonna be low girl.
Yeah, they're getting really aggressive. They know there are only like 5 people alive up there on the cliff, and they're trying to find a way to, make it so that maybe they can get a force. But blue team finding a bunch of players, getting some damage off, making it a bit difficult to have a really good post for the red team in terms of having HP. Everyone's here now on the blue team. They're trying to get on top of the point. Bluko can take shot after shot, though.
Fish is going behind. I like this from Fish, going behind. They already lost 2 from the pool, so Pool once again winning the game for China National TF2 team, and this is a collapse. This is going to be the round right here. Look at Fish. Fish gets the medic. That's it.
Yeah,
that was
Red did,
Pool once again.
Red did a little bit better on trying to control things, but it wasn't really Pool. It was them succeeding more often in their point fights despite Pool. So, I mean...
Yeah, their problem is that they're backing up, so they're taking these Uber shoots, and then after the Uber shoots, they're backing up to get healthy onto ramp, which is fine if you have Pool. But if you don't have Pool, they're gonna die, which is what happened, was that they had a Pool, kill all the hurt players post-Uber on the ramp, and they just explode.
Yeah, ideally you already have your Pool pretty okay purely because of the health pack. I know you have to do some things sometimes based on having some players dead. Like maybe to get the point in the first place, you had to sacrifice some players, so now the Pool hold's going to be weak when the exchange comes off because people rolling out and taking turns with the telly, and that's understandable. But I feel like there was plenty of moments where they didn't necessarily need to help Pool people because they already had it and still backed up anyway. And there were times where they needed to help Pool because it wasn't taken yet, and they just kind of ignored it and just fought over the point again and again and again and again until they had like, oh, we have a sniper advantage. We can just peek freely, and they can't.
I feel like they're not taking the Ubers into Pool either to help flush it out in the post. I don't know if I saw that from them. I saw people getting out of Pool, so they might just be playing around it well. But I don't know if I saw like red team taking the Ubers into Pool to flush it out.
I don't think it was not that needed in the middle of the Ubers, but it definitely didn't really happen at all. I don't remember a time at all where the red combo entered Pool in any circumstance.
Also, Zebra DPM 576.
Unsurprising, he kind of had a field day.
Second highest is Soapy with 468, so there's a 100 DPM gap between Zebra and the second highest of Soapy.
Zebra was completely unafraid of Maxi.
Yeah.
0 F's given. Like, I don't care if you're on the combo. You're not going to get through me. And it kind of showed, like, Demoman should not really be able to corner cap on Lakeside. Like, that's not a thing that happens with the sniper dead. Yeah, something should happen. Like, a heavy peeks around from somewhere, or your Pool people kind of peek out and stuff like that. But he... honestly, I think Zebra, in some ways, DM diffed a bit here in some moments. Okay. It wasn't the whole ticket to victory, because I do think there were some genuine moments from the side of RR that wasn't just like, oh, you got out DM'd, like, such a suck. It was like a strategy type thing from them sometimes. There were moments where I was like, all right, I think blue team kind of loses here in this particular fight, and then Zebra just says, no, we're holding on to this, I don't care.
Yeah. Also, this is just a difference. Like, this is such a different team that we saw at Upward to what we're seeing now.
I agree. I think that mayhaps there be some fundamental Upward things that are not working out well. But
I get
but
that.
If you think about
Upward's a little tough sometimes.
If you think about it, was Was Zebra able to dominate on upward? I mean,
Puka
no.
was just spinning bottom.
Zebra got to shoot a lot of people because his team was already dead, so it was kind of over. But he got to dominate on Vigil before stuff started to kick off, and he's going to dominate on Lakeside before stuff starts to kick off. So I think it's the opening damage is the big ticket here. That's not something that exists on an upward because the sniper sight lines prevent you from getting opening damage because you have to get through the sniper, and I guess the spy as well. But if they can actually get to where they want to be and start just like doing damage ASAP, nonstop, it doesn't matter, I think, if, red team's getting some picks here and there, because they're all going to be weak for getting those picks.
If you're if you're RR here, what do you change? Like, what are like things in like Mumble and Discord, whatever, that you can demonstrably tell people like, okay, do this differently and be
like not just coaching them or whatever. I think,
like you're coaching them, like not like we need to play better, like we need to do this, like on an abstract level, like on a physical level, like okay, we need to do this. This is like a decision we're not making.
When you don't have the point, before you ever try to push the stairs, you need to rotate your combo up the ramp towards the cliffside to shoot into the pool and actually hit pool players and make them feel like they need to take the health pack, and leave your flank with the buff for rotating back down the stairs and then beginning the fight. Because then you have a higher chance of your flank actually being able to help you. Because chances are they won't have to engage with the defending flank. The defending flank might just realize that they're screwed HP-wise and leave and go to the dispenser. Second, I think on even Uber exchanges, when the opposing team is at the bottom of the stairs, you should just go. You should just Uber into them. Go for the family. Like, make them... force them into a family Uber. I think there was maybe one time that the blue team was forced into a family Uber, and it was really, really great. And if you can do that more often with them all huddled by the ramp or at the bottom of the stairs, instead of just letting them come into you, I think you're going to be better off. And you don't have to be afraid about them. Oh no, they're going to have like a 2-second better Uber and chase us. You have a pyro, you have a giant sniper sightline. They're not going to kill you. So I think more aggressive Ubers from the red team and more combo rotations temporarily to pool to help the flank would allow you to take the point back in a much swifter motion and hold the point more consistently, so that the post-Uber exchanges aren't as coin flippy, where it's like, oh, you lost. You lost the post fight. Yeah, GG.
Yeah. I also think something that I saw Fish do a couple times and it worked very well was Fish jumping behind onto bats and like putting the pressure behind. I think I saw Jerry try it a couple times, but I think China National TF2 team did it far more effectively because they'd have their spy and their soldier doing it at the same time, and like that, the crunch of having forward and people that they won a couple of doing that. I think that RR could also try to do that a bit more, and I know that like they're having Scourge sit on the fence with like a pyro near him, but like making people look 2 ways at once can go a long way towards winning fights, and it might put additional pressure on Zebra if you just shoot Zebra in the back and the front. So I think that's another thing they could also try to do if Pool is just a lost cause.
The fence is not even that great of a sniper sight line if he's on. If you can actually see really that he's on it, like if your spy is able to see that he's on there, you can play in a way to where it's like, okay, there's no sniper sight line that goes into Pool. It's going to require a rotation of some sort, so you can kind of get in. You can peek for free. And then even then, the fence can only see so much of the point without, like, you have to go all the way. So you can have your scout corner cap from the corner with your demo man shooting from the staircase behind him onto the opposing demo man. And then that can kind of work to pressure. Like it's not even about the corner cap. You can have your scout play in between the corner cap and the side door, and your scout's not afraid about the side door per se if you actually have control over Pool, which is why they're probably not doing it. It's probably because they don't have control over Pool, so the scout doesn't feel like he can stand that close to the side doorway without just getting shot in the side, right?
Yeah.
So that's probably more emphasis on why Pool is even more important. It's because it allows you to play where you need to on the point based on where the sniper wants to sit.
I'm looking up. Looks like the other match went on to map 3.
Oh, that's nice. A lot of action.
Looks like... Okay, interesting. It looks like actually the Jacob team, so it's Yeah, the Lenny team actually got kind of rolled on product, and then they brought it back on Fourthwall. And now they're on Lakeside.
Ooh, just like us.
Yeah, they actually are. Looks like Jacob team is down 1-2 on Lakeside right now. So both maps going down to the wire on Lakeside.
Except this Lakeside match so far is not going down to the wire.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's not.
maybe a little bit in time. Like they got RR got closer in time. I think they had like 30 seconds left when they lost or so. But when you look at like, you zoom out, look at both teams, look at the fundamentals of what they're bringing. So far, it makes sense. But China National TF2 team is just playing a better Lakeside in particular. I don't even think it's DM.
Jacob's name on Steam is Jacob Curmudgeon.
Like, we have gone live.
That's a very good word.
I'm kind of curious how Blue Team's going to deal with Pool. First time they sent 0 players, and
I see a lot.
Next time
oh
they
my
sent
god, the horde!
The horde is coming through. It's a singular heavy against the world, and Jackson really gone.
Like, Plinko gets a pick, but still, like, you know, you got your one guy. And it's awesome. I see Soapy's in the air, so we got fucked. Horde's actually gonna get killed by Rogue. Yeah, Jerry's behind, so they did try to go behind. And our thing is, Buko's gonna die. Fish is behind getting caught. They're chasing people back, but this is looking like a lost bid for the side of. Yeah, they're trying to fight this actually. Destrong kind of getting caught with his pants down there by Soapy, getting like this all 6 taking off. But look at the scout.
Oh, he's dead. Yeah,
the scout,
can't.
like that's exactly what happened. So that's what Maxi needs to be doing a little more, is like pressuring Zebra like that.
Yeah, you can't stand on the point as a demo man unless you've already won and they're leaving. Otherwise, it's just too easy for you to die. You get traded out, and it's not great. But speaking of trading out, he died for Scourge. That buys some time here. It could be a pretty good exchange and a post if they actually get this exchange off. It's still an even no cap situation. This is still a mid fight.
So Buko's trying to play on mats like the Spy's dead, but Spy's not dead, so it just results in Buko dying. Oh! Okay, Boss just got the NGU chasing down the Spy on mats, so this is Boss on Deadringer too. So yeah, they're chasing their Boss on mats, and
they ran away so far away.
Yeah, they chased him so far they just got the point on him.
Yeah, their combo completely disengaged. I mean, they had a slightly worse Uber, but once again, Sniper Sight Lines, Pyro, you don't have to run that far away because they're not going to chase that far. So they kind of gave up that mid fight. I mean, they're shooting in the back now. They're doing some good fighting. Getting the sniper kills pretty huge. Zebra's dead. Jerry's still barely alive up until this point. But
there he goes.
But they're getting some cap time here.
They're getting some cap time here.
Blue's still somehow holding on.
Yeah, they are still. They're holding on the point. I don't know where. I don't know where the sniper is. Like, oh, like, but you need to be shooting the blue guys on the point. Like, look at the heavy. The heavy's just standing on the point, and they're standing on like the low ground.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like this is positioning.
Red has no control over Pool.
And, okay, Buko dead, which is gonna reset this whole thing.
Hey, they're doing it. They're bringing the people in Pool.
Yeah, they did it, but
they've just brought a singular Pyro though, and he gets sniped.
He's dead. Yeah.
They're doing the Uber exchange. They're more aggressive with it. It took a long time for Rogue to actually pop.
Maxi actually ran into Pool this time, but you know. Okay, the blue team is doing a good job leaving. That's why that's not happening.
Yeah, but they got to do something here really to get on top of the point and really push them forward. They got a couple flank kills. The heavy has control over Pool. They get on top of things. Zebra's dead. Mind the sniper sideline. Scourge is still on the staircase.
Okay, they're actually taking the point now. Zebra's dead. This should be a point cap.
It just took forever.
Trying to get up. Yeah, it did take forever, but they did get in the end. So, see how that goes. Boss trying to get the telly down. Zebra dying.
This has got to be a huge hold. Getting Destron is pretty good.
It is pretty good. And Soapy top of the scoreboard right now, so Soapy is doing a lot of work. The Buko, both snipers not doing too hot right now. I feel like there's a lot of like, and I jinxed.
Oh, the spy bumps into Spaghetti. The pistol ends up getting forced. Was afraid of the last revolver connecting. Yeah, and
turning water into
Chom's going forward. Detonator jump in, but no dice there, so. Basically just generated an ad for the side of the blue team.
This could be a little sketch, but Soapy's not here. Okay.
Yeah, it is.
If Soapy was there, that could have been the freest damage out of all time.
Gotta find a way to chase some kills. We've seen a couple of these Ubers where they do not chase kills properly, and they drop their demo. It's just a solo scout Uber going for Spaghetti. Can't really get that. The Pyro's dead as well.
Oh, it's a disaster.
Chom dies.
Rogue sought out because of the Pyro.
Yeah, a little bit. It was fine for now.
Okay, he got out, but
they got 4 kills.
Okay, they got a lot of kills in the post, actually. It's the heavy again. Look at this strong. He's getting so many hits.
little concerning how terrible that Uber was for blue team, and yet
they still
somehow
got so many
5 players died.
Yeah, and they intelligently did not delay everyone, which is a heads up.
Correct me if I'm wrong, because I was just only watching the combo, but since it looked awful from the combo perspective, speaking of awful things, Spaghetti dying and Hugo dying is horrible for the red team. I can only imagine all those deaths that happened to the red team were just inside pool and outside on their own cliff.
I think it was kind of outside pool. I didn't get a great look at myself, but the strong, like, yeah, he's playing like on like the little like lantern thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, really like he's peeking out of pool right now. That's what he was doing. Like whenever they push, whenever red team pushes the strong, just like peek out of the door. Because they know they're not locking the door because they're on the one.
You gotta rotate your demo.
Die to it. All just die to it. Like, granted, they're all Puka's spin botting right now.
They went for a sack play, and Rogue's dead. Dropped the Uber.
Oh,
I was wondering, like, I was like, where is Soapy? He should be helping his team deal with pool. But speaking of dead medics, the bomb from Fish comes in solo, mind you. Miss Surf, and that is a opposing Dedic as well.
Yeah, so a lot of missed protections here from both teams. I appreciate Jack X with the banana on the play. That's what you like to see.
The red team just barely getting their medic now. It's a small ad for the side of blue team, but honestly, I can imagine you're not going to want to just wait for your Uber trade up, and you're actually going to try to fight this. Red team does have crits. Blue did not try to deal with pool in any way, shape, or form, so they're not going to have too much ease trying to break through this. Yeah, Plinko's
looking sideways from pool. That's a devil.
They're just rushing through. I think it's blue team. It's blue team that makes the mistake this time. How much I've been saying, you know, RR really needs to, when they don't have the point, bring their combo over to pool to help soften them up. This time we see Zebra and friends not do that. And because of that, the pool people just flood out, buffed, ready to go, and completely dismantle people holding outside on the cliff. And it kind of spirals from there. So both teams kind of not playing very pool focused. And this time it kind of bit China National TF2 team. So what was once a decent advantage is now even on time. Crits just ad that gets used. The first T kills no one. Jack and
the bomb from
Fish.
That was a nuclear bomb from Fish.
Dismantled. Absolutely meat grindered.
That's the correct way to play against crits, by the way.
I don't even know. Did they even know it was a crits, or was it just like?
Did. They were just in good position.
Wow, that is a straight up beef.
Yeah. Not only a beef, but also a good response from everyone, because like the second the crits came out, Fish was bombing in. Like they had 5 people running into different angles.
And now the desperation quick fix is here. They know that Uber's not going to get in time. They just want to heal people as fast as possible.
Getting a pick up Fish is a good start. Actually, Gary's going to bomb in onto Rogue and going to get Rogue, so Rogue's going to fall, and he's going to get the pack. Oh my god.
Uber again. This might be what the red team needs. There's a little bit of time left to work with. Maybe some respawners coming in something. Get some kills.
Die to the late time, but that's a full wipe.
Oh, they're not going to get there in time. They don't even.
I think you need
they
to
have
go
four.
That's actually a players. They're going to forward hold here. You have to get past them somehow.
I mean,
wait, look at Zebra. Zebra's on the point.
Zebra versus the world. The teleporter.
Yeah, but they're not going to get there in time. Wow, that was a collapse from the China National TF2 team. Like, it was collapse on both sides. Both teams were kind of like back-to-back blunders.
I mean, let's be real. If Rogue doesn't drop 2 times, that's a round for China National TF2 team.
Yeah. No, you're right.
But the clutch playmaking was there. I mean, RR needed to find a way to victory. I've been saying opposite of what they used, but hey, if you can just take the Ubers out of the equation entirely through picks and forces, then that can be a surefire way to do it. They end up fighting through this time with 3, with 4, and they get dipped.
Oh my god,
they kill 1. They kill 1 in exchange.
Red is starting to have Red has pool problems. I'm gonna say it now. Red is starting to have like genuine pool problems. They've had
it's not starting.
It's getting worse.
It's deteriorating.
Like, even though they won that last round, that is like they lost instantly and got nothing back.
It was even like they killed 1 player and lost all 4 of them they sent in. That's really, really bad.
And like the
Where's the
should not be getting 3
Oh, the sack though? Rogue's dead. The pipe.
Rogue's dead.
This is what they needed. Last time it was just killing Rogue, and this is the ticket. That's not bad either. He's on a different spawn wave as well, so which means that he's not really going to be there for the dry fight. Because they have ad long term, but ideally you don't want to wait for the ad. With the Scourge having a late death, it means they can actually begin to poke and prod and not be afraid of a sniper just standing on top of the point. Getting MK, pretty huge.
Look at the Strong and
I think they realize, blue team realizes here that like our sniper is so important for this hold. Let's just have someone else die, especially if they can get spaghetti, which they did. The ad that they had is gone.
On Lakeside. 8. I don't think I've seen that before. Okay, Buko getting a pick on Zebra is pretty big here. Boss is lurking around bats, and Red's gonna try to like.
This one's
so he doesn't really have much health.
Rogue's
yeah,
dead.
there's Rogue. Out the reflect too, it didn't even matter.
The medics are just dying left and right.
Yeah. Actually, I think is that crits? That is crits.
It is indeed.
Yeah.
For the red team.
Yeah, which I kind of get. Like if your medic's just medic, then why not go crits?
Yeah, and both medics are just kind of dying nonstop at this point. But Zebra holding down the fort. He's literally one person. I mean, you kind of have MK on the side, but he's still just alive throughout it all. I think they're playing a little timid on red sometimes, but they do know what their advantage is, and they do cap the point. They have the full ad now. Spaghetti just gets piped randomly across the map. 11 HP.
The Zebra blind pipes are actually kind of
very scary. Here's the crits. Going through, first couple stick resistance, fish bombing in, Spaghetti's dead.
Got the call on that one.
Yeah, no reflect there.
So they lost 3 for it, so it's not the end of the world, but it's not.
It's not great though.
It's not.
I mean, you kind of need people to carry elsewhere to really lock things down, but
Scourge is gonna die. Hard Ass Jones is gonna die, so they're gonna delay some people, but that's kind of the only. That's the only consolation prize you get.
You can use your Uber to buy time for Scourge, who you just denied, so you're fine denying him.
Spaghetti back on Uber now, so it's even bigger disad.
Red has to flush pool.
Again.
They have to flush pool because if they just try to fight and get the force over the point.
They got the strong.
Okay,
they got fish.
They flush pool. This is what they need. This is how they get the force. They're able to get cap time now. Blue team will eventually have to pull the trigger. They're going for it now. They're bringing an engineer in the Uber. The arrow on the Sophie. He's alive. Clutch from Spaghetti. Absolute cinema. Scourge dead as well. This is the comeback for
actually killed the Telly that's been up this whole time. That Telly's been up this whole time and has been helping out Blue so much, and Jagex actually killed it, which is genuinely like underrated big play.
Look at the time difference though. That's so hard to work with.
Oh yeah.
At least they're not on crits. They're back to Uber.
They're not on crits.
They have the added work. They will get it. And there will be no spy spotting or paranoia, so the air blast should come in for any threat that might come their way. I'm unsure if Blue's going to try to dry or just straight up sack. It looks like a dry angle maybe, but never mind. It's not going to be a dry angle. The Rogue's just dead. Probably just going to send it. Fish is in. So we're going forward.
Fish is in the skybox.
Any kills you can.
Oh, dude,
bit weak.
It was so close.
They're really gunning for it. Hard Hat Jones got it really deep there. But
they
killed Plinko.
Look how much point time they got.
I mean, it's only natural, considering they just ran across the point. Zebra didn't even jump across. He's still corner capping at least a little bit.
Just, like, Zebra gonna kill the edgy.
Yeah. But Core's like, guys, this Pharaoh's alone, just kill him.
Zebra has the best pipes, like the best pipes.
Oh, it's down!
Oh, boss!
Spaghetti's gone. So much further ahead. They took a play out of red team's.
They got the time back. That's as good as they got.
They were like, hey, you're gonna just drop Rogue again and again. It's fine. We'll just drop Spaghetti. They just corner cap this. Red team, I mean, they're kind of trying to send it now, but it's too little, too late. The opportunity is gone.
Yeah.
They got a couple kills. That's something. Okay. Oh, wait,
Rogue.
never mind.
Rogue.
I ate my words. They managed it. It was just a ruse.
They're in pool and they're getting slaughtered right now by Jack X, but Scourge getting 2 picks is going to at least slow things down a bit. But Core's going to come in and probably get 2. Yeah,
they got to get this cap. Oh, the blue goes stab though. Oh, and you have to let him respawn too. You need him alive or they just dry and win. Oh, that's so clutch from the side of the boss.
Boss made back-to-back 2 big plays. Core's going to die too, which is not going to help. But they're already here position. Like, you guys going to die, but they have the Zebra's just got to not like die to Sophie here, and Zebra playing close to the sticky. That's
finally,
a big play from
Zebra died.
Maxi. Yeah, Maxi pushes forward and gets that kill. That's a big play.
It's obviously not. Like, I remember times where Zebra died. That feels like his first death. Yeah. For how much he's gotten away with this game.
Yeah, Zebra definitely has been like on the base of the stairs, just not dying so many times.
The scoreboard definitely shows it as well.
Yeah.
They have an ad here, blue team, or red team. They might need to use it. Gluco's ready. No, stab again! I just said, taking a play,
back-to-back drops.
Taking a play out of your opponent's playbook. You want to drop our medic? We'll just drop yours. And I mean, there's cap time for blue team, but red. I mean, they're they're showing some prowess here.
Yeah, they're just
slowing them
Ubering,
down.
but yeah.
The Uber comes out, they get a kill, they get the cap time. Red team has to run forward now, off Uber, into the sniper sideline of Scourge, who is, oh, he's not there. Scourge
Look at Hardhead Juice! Hardhead Juice is in!
There's no overtime, they take that round. They're 1 round away from taking it and moving on in playoffs and sitting in our home.
That round, that was Boss's round.
That was
yeah, 2 drops and a key Buko kill, like that was genuine, yeah.
He saw what Cord and was like, wait, I can do that. and just decided to do it as well.
Flora's been kind of stuck playing, like, on Spy. Like, I've been watching, Flora's been kind of just, like, on dance floor, like, just watching. Like, just how the map works. Like, oh my god, just a lot of
Yeah, it's a
It's getting worse every round.
They only sent 3 that time instead of 1. Alright, there we go. They lost 1. Look, they're rotating their combo over. We're finally doing it. A little bit of awkward timing, but see, this is totally fine. And now they have some room to actually send people in. They're kind of dismantling pool a little bit. Anyone that gets on the point still has to kind of be in a Buko sightline, so it's not the end of the world. So I think Red Team is starting to learn a little bit of how to kind of manage this pool area, even when they immediately lose it. They're not really doing a great job at stopping them. They finally get a kill on the scout. That's actually huge. No ×2. Nothing to actually really stop Sophie from standing on the point other than Scourge, who finally arrives. Is taking a little bit of a sideline to kind of prevent things. The Uber is going to get popped out running forward, trying to find some extra damage on many of the red players who don't even have the Uber yet until now. They're finally trying to chase him down. Blue team running away. They have the cap time to kind of prevent red team from, immediately capping things up. And in fact, they don't want to, they're not playing Krissy whatsoever. They're being kind of afraid. They are once again rotating over to pool, bringing their team at least a little bit in terms of
buff. Look at this wrong. Look at the position
Maxi just sent it into pool with no help whatsoever.
Yeah,
that was extremely uncoordinated, and now they are dropping like flies. It's over.
Yeah. Scourge getting a Buko, just cherry on top. Jerry gonna die. Sophie's sending over, but it's too little too late. They've already lost pool and they've lost the point. Like, doing something in the meantime, they actually get Scourge. Okay, so they got something off of it, but at the end of the day, they have pool, they have the point, and they have very, small 5% advantage and not much else to work with. They're gonna get a heavy, so they actually are playing pool for once. They sent their whole combo through pool. They finally cleared it out, but at what cost?
Yep, they gotta get this cap though, because Blue Team's about to get an Uber to actually save this cap time here. They're playing very disciplined away from the cyber sight lines.
Ad, and I don't think they realize it.
I mean, it was
probably
not real.
Still, this is the one map you can take those really slight ads if you have a scout.
Yeah, they gotta do something though.
Yeah, they have to make a play on growth, because that's the only thing that's been working.
They needed to just go for it, go for some sort of exchange, go for some sort of push. That's so much time bought off doing nothing. Like, after that pool fight, something should have happened, and they sat around and did nothing, and now they have to sit around more and wait for the demo to respawn. They gotta just send it something. Getting the
Straw's hurt too. The Straw's eating a sandwich in a corner.
They're being pretty dominant out the pool hole. They're going in, finally taking the Uber into their own hands, getting some damage out. There's a lot of people around. Scourge is red HP.
Red won the pool fight. Oh, okay, they did, but they actually sent the Uber in. Red got caught out during the Uber, and they sent their combo in. Rook's gonna die to Maxi. Goes a big play from Maxi. Gonna get the pack to live, but they still haven't capped the point. Over half the time is gone already.
Yeah, I mean, they got a couple kills. They really just gotta press the issue. Sophie, he gets air shot by Fish. Just popped up into the air and taken down. And as soon as they cap it up, they are immediately losing it. I feel like there's these small, there's very particular small windows of time that RR can use, and they're not using them because of that. The ones that they are using are just not dominant enough of victories.
Luka's starting to heat up and going on a kill streak here, but what I've noticed is every time RR loses a fight, they're sitting 12 people on the ramp. Their entire team is huddled inside the dispenser on ramp.
Yeah, I mean they're getting a little bit of cap time and they take some damage. Fish
bomb in from Fish. And this is gonna be good because they have to look back for it. Look at them, they're all on the ramp again and they're peeking out.
Yep. And no one, pool is empty. Okay, Jack X is starting to get into it. Hey, Uber in, it was a really small 10% ad. They get a lot of damage on the blue, who do eventually use on the cliff. They're Ubering in the pool room, they're clearing it out. Yep, they've gotten a couple kills though.
Sophie needs a pipe across the map.
They need to fight now. There's only 5 people here on the blue team. Half of them are rolling out, not really having a presence.
Dies.
They even killed Rogue. They have the point now. They need to make sure they secure it even more so. But with having total people down, they're actually going to rotate towards pool instead. They've secured it. They're playing differently, which is good in theory. They'll be kind of wandering outside over the staircase.
They're just playing the opposite side of the point.
Yeah,
Look at this point time. This point time. Oh, and there goes Spaghetti. Scourge with the big victory. That's probably, that could be the rack. Could be RR's season. Not good.
I mean, they're trying some different stuff. They've done a good job of recognizing their typical play has not quite worked, but I don't think the adjustments are the fixes they needed. It's just something different for the sake of being something different. And blue team, we haven't talked about them a whole lot because they're not doing anything. Blue team isn't doing anything special right now. They're just holding down the fort.
Scourge holding down the point, and Buko. No Buko. This is gonna be tough to contest this.
This is probably.
All Fish is dead.
They have to die to give up the
point. Blue is all dying.
Yeah, but to take this, Red's probably gonna lose some players, though. I would imagine they've lost one. Are they gonna get this relatively clean? They've lost their engineer.
Rogue's gonna back up with 90%. So Rogue's gonna have. They need to get a. They need to drop Rogue here and make sure this Uber is terrible. They're already going.
They're fine-ish on the red team. The difficult thing is actually getting this force. And in a timely manner.
And or drop.
They're playing by pool early to make sure they're flanking. Oh, Sophie's alone. Somebody didn't realize it. He's dead. He's so dead.
Buko is actually just standing like.
Oh my god, the pipe from Fever taking out Spaghetti.
Buko was just like wandering around on bats. Nobody was prepared. The only person prepared was Jerry. Jerry was prepared for the post bomb, and that was it. And that's it.
Absolutely textbook.
I feel like they just didn't know they had Uber or something. Like the only person who was in a position to fight that was Jerry.
I was about to say red team looked like they didn't know what was happening.
Yeah. That was like very unprepared, and that's gonna be our season. That's a come from behind victory after a disastrous upward, and they clawed back and won on Vigil, and a good showing on Lakeside, 4-1.
I can imagine people watching China national TF2 team and seeing their loss on upward and being like, oh, okay, they're the worst team. They're gonna get fourth this season. But realistically, you know, playoffs comes out. I mean, you got the whole map pool to deal with. You never really got to see how scrims were on all the other maps. Sometimes you just get bad RNG and you got a map that you can't find a way to win versus another team, but you were able to clutch out when you have to go up against the whole pool. And they definitely, I feel like you have to give hats off to China national TF2 teams. Highlander fundamentals. I feel like in moments where they lost, it was like, oh no, we got out DM'd.
Yeah, like
some moments
twice. Like it was like unlucky or like just kind of like that just happens kind of thing.
But
the fundamentals were sound.
When they won, they out Highlandered RR, which is, you know, it's good to see.
I think Sophie played well too overall. Like I'm not gonna blame the ringer on that one. I think that was genuinely like just a team issue. Like it was people like I feel like there was like players like. Certain things weren't happening. Like it was like a overall map objective thing on Lakeside that led to RR's loss. Like the DM was fine.
You can't blame the ringer that much because even though it takes some synergy to get used to a different demo, other team had a different medic. And if anyone thought that Soapy wasn't doing a Highlander demo thing that needed to happen, there was plenty of time in all of this to like make that adjustment. I think so.
So the Jacob team did end up losing.
All right, well, I guess that will be China national TF2 team's opponent.
Yes, so
versus Sour Patch?
Lenny and Wish and
hype in on them.
Yeah.
That should be a hype match.
That should be a good match. I'm curious to see what the maps will be, but any thoughts on Dirt?
No, I think my final thoughts are we saw how important having a rounded map pool is. We saw how important niche Highlander fundamentals are on those maps. And we saw that people shouldn't be discouraged if they see an opponent on the opposing team pull out crazy numbers nonstop.
Oh, yeah. Buko went 131 and 55 and lost. Scourge went 80 and 69 and won.
It is really a team game.
It is a team game. As somebody who frequently gets doubled on Sniper, it is a team game. You can do your job and still not have as good stats. Stats do not are goal. Like Red outfragged Blue by 100 kills and they lost
that. That's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes.
It is.
But as we settle down, I mean, that was a lot of TF2. I think we've had our fill for the most part, but that's going to be soon. It for us is the next time you're really going to see any Highlander action would be next Monday. Any final shout-outs before we close out the stream space?
Shout out to casting on Fireside. I think it's my first time, and that was a good time. It's nice to cast some Highlander every once in a while.
Yep. definitely, speaking of, shout out to the teams for playing. Don't have a cast if you don't have the teams playing, and shout out to everyone who watched with us and saw who was going to get eliminated this time around and who's going to move on. But that's pretty much been it for us. Remember, next Monday is going to be a big ticket to see who moves on to the grand finals and who gets taken down a notch and will take away third place. But until then, we'll see you next time.
See you next time.